Yeah, 5:04.
There we go.
California time.
Nice. Do you fly there often?
One of my clients is the alcohol brand. I told you, the Jungle Tea in
Oh, they're in Cali?
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
Yo, that alcohol brand. We can talk about that too. You get a chance to like take some clips and like throw that on the internet. All right, so we are live right now. We're gonna sound cue it by ear. What up, peoples? I'm out here with Brittany. If you do not know who you're looking at a connoisseur, a mixer legend of alcohols. She actually, is into some pretty cool business, and you guys are about to hear all about it. Let's see how the audio sounds. Mine's a little loud. You talk? Go ahead.
Test. Yeah, my name's Brittany, and I'm here live.
Live at 5.
Live at 5. Good evening. Welcome to Live at 5.
There we are. I'm going to turn mine down just a little bit. Mine's a little loud. You talk? You sound good?
Thanks.
Do you like it? Do you like how it sounds?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Good vibes. All right, we're live.
We are on the internet.
Literally live. We're on the internet now.
Happy to be here.
Yo, thank you guys for coming in to 5 Star today. I am happy to be here too with Brittany. I don't even know if I should say her last name. I'll let you decide how much you want on the internet, you know what I mean? But Brittany has an Instagram. If you guys go follow her on Instagram right now, what's the handle?
Britt.mitz.
Britt.mitz, M-I-T-Z?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got it.
It's a Brit mitzvah up in this mother. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yo, so I got a chance to meet her, and she's actually a connoisseur of a lot of cool things, and I'll make a connection here real quick, right? She has alcohol popping bottles in the club, which reminds me of the times that I was in Orlando and Miami with 50 Cent, and he was popping bottles in the club with effing vodka, which is now Alicia Mendorai. So shout out to you, Fifth. This girl is actually reminding me of you right now. We got hustlers in the building.
No one else is going to do it, let me tell you.
100%. Take me away. Let me know where you're from, and let the people know how I met you so we can get into today's episode. And if you're reading the title, yes, we're going to discuss male sexuality. Do women even care? But let's find out from an actual woman who might know a thing or two about men. Let's see.
Well, Chris, thank you for having me. I'm originally from Massachusetts, Dartmouth, small Cape Town. Right, like Massachusetts, it's right on the armpit, right?
Yeah.
So, super.
Can you spell Massachusetts?
Yeah, I can.
It's a pain in the ass, right?
Don't put me on the spot. It's not over here.
Just kidding. It's like a small little place, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right there in the armpit.
So close to like Cape Cod, that kind of vibe, very like coastal grandma, if you will. I grew up there, and then my family moved down to Naples, Florida when I was in 8th grade, and I finished out my high school there, and then I traveled as a traveling server for 4 years after graduating high school. I just wasn't ready to go to college yet. I felt as though like there was so much more to be seen, and I was making a crap ton of money being a fine dining server. So I learned the value of not only $1, but the freedom of being in those places with these very influential, extremely wealthy people at 18, 19, 20, 21, even up to 23 years old. I had a very strong idea that I didn't want to be serving tables forever, but I wanted to be on the other end having a $150 lunch on a Tuesday in Naples or wherever around the world, just knowing that was possible and having those really influential conversations with just really everyday people, but with not everyday money, really shaped what I felt as though led me throughout my 20s of like, I don't need a party, I need a hustle. And that really led me to where I am now in my mid 30s of like, okay, now I can party a little bit, but like it's still about the mindset. And I've taken a lot of that from, honestly, men in very influential business-minded mindsets to just take that as a male-dominated industry, but a seat at the table as a woman.
Boom. How does it feel?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Because what you consider just to wake up and brush your teeth and take a shower takes me a whole extra hour to get to look like, not a whole hour, but it does take more time and more effort to be looked upon as a serious individual that is a woman in a space that's mostly dominated by men in almost every money-making industry.
100%. No, I trust me. I get where you're at. I can imagine that when you're in there and you're taking like an extra little time to get pretty, you're like, yo, I want to get pretty, but I also want to get professional. You know, I gotta compose myself a certain way. Not only can she spell Massachusetts, my guys, but she's out here kicking ass in that industry. So how did, we're kind of opening up here. I want you guys to know a little bit about Brittany. I want you to know like a little bit about her background. In the time that I got to know Brittany, she's a hustler, man. How did you get into the alcohol industry and how did we meet?
Yeah, so how I got into the alcohol space, I was a creative director and creative executive producer for Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week for 10 years. And throughout those 10 years, I learned a lot about creative direction through production, sponsorships, everything from A to Z, producing my own children's wear collection that I had for 3 years prior to COVID. I produced Fort Lauderdale Kids Fashion Week from scratch. I created a beautiful program for children with disabilities through that as well. So I left my mark with Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week, and one of the last years that I was on board, I had asked for, I didn't sign any contracts or anything so I can say it, but I had asked for equity in the company, and because at that point I had given 8 years to this program, and it turns out that there was nothing on the table for me other than a bigger increase of pay. And at that point it wasn't worth it for me to take a bigger pay other than finding an exit plan. So for 2 years after, my goal was, how can I exit with something that I can take with me, right? Not so much of just like saying, okay, my ego's hurt, I don't want to be here anymore. How do I stay in the game? How do I still make a name for myself? Because I at this point invested 8 years into it. How do I keep my name there as someone that's part of this program, but leave with my head held high with something better? So for those 2 years, I really did work hard on like finding other avenues. And the last year that I was on board, I brought on the sponsorship called Jungle Tea, which actually developed into Fermentation House based in California. They are a organic alcohol brand, second generation winemaker, Dom O'Reilly, and he wanted to make better for you alcohol products. They were a sponsor, right? So they paid for the sponsorship. I got a commission from it, great. But then I had the product for 9 days when we brought them on board and we had the event, 9 days of events. So when you do fashion shows, it's not just walking down the runway. You have pre-parties. You have after parties. You have model parties. You have parties. Okay?
I learned this.
Yeah. So being a producer of those parties, I hardly am able to keep up with all the parties, right? But having this product.
She's a dancer, guys. Like a professional dancer. She knows how to get in there.
Yeah. So
salsa.
Right. Salsa, bachata, jazz, tap, ballet, classical trained dancer.
Yes.
So with all of that, I had it for 9 days throughout the whole process, and I had zero hangover from the product. Okay, so yes, exhausted, okay, tired, granted, but not hungover. And so I asked the CEO, like, what is in this product? Like, what is this magic? I was drunk, so there has to be something in it. He goes, yeah, it's just made from the mountains of California. Like, it's made with real shit.
So just natural.
Correct.
Really. So then what is a hangover?
You know what's crazy, though, is when you say natural, it's almost like it's not already assumed, which is a whole other topic.
Right,
Why does it need to be like a crazy idea?
Farm raised, like
natural. Like, it's like
organic.
Why are we paying for rain? You know, why are we paying for water in our own faucets?
We'll do that episode, a whole different, yeah.
But my point being is that when you're having these products in particular, I've never been able to say an experience that I'll have it again the next day, right? When you drink all night, you kind of wake up the next morning going, oof, why did I do that? So one of my last campaigns that I did with them that I was contracted to do was actually called No Regrets. Mm-hmm. And it was exactly that. There are a lot of alcohol laws that I wasn't aware of when switching industries from fashion to alcohol. That, there's a lot of like, you can't have a sip of alcohol when you're advertising it. Same thing with tobacco too. There's a lot of laws that you really can't get around. You'll be fined and basically put off the market very quickly.
Yeah, I saw a Pete Davidson commercial, and he was saying that. Well, I thought that was so funny, but as someone that's not in the industry, I'm not really thinking about it. So go ahead.
Yeah. So just maybe a few weeks before Art Basel this past year, we were out.
Shout out Art Basel.
Yeah, we were out one night, and one of the gentlemen that we were with was like, "Oh my God, your visuals and your storytelling is so amazing. Like, it's almost like you have no regrets having this beverage." And I literally look at Dom, and I'm like, "That's the campaign, no regrets." So now it's actually become the Fermentations House main logo of certified party animal, which I came up with myself. It's certified party animal is like certified in whatever you do, OnlyFans, Instagram, Facebook, Meta. You're certified in something. And in the Fermentation House, you're a certified party animal because you can party all night long and do it again the next day. And then when you wake up the next morning, you can go to your 8 a.m. workout class, your 9 a.m. meeting, and you won't have any regrets for having the products itself. We're not saying that doesn't give you a hangover because that's legal. And you know, it's alcohol, so like whether you could have another drink of whatever sorts, whether it be, I'm not going to name another brand, but you could have another form of alcohol, and then you're cheating on the brand. Now you might get a hangover, and I can't be responsible for your bad decisions.
Right.
But if you're loyal to the brand takes care of you.
Right.
So that's where that came from.
And then in getting a chance to conversate with you, you actually showed me that you do the graphic design, the visuals. You actually pull it all together.
Yeah, I made the logo. And
if you want to go ahead and show one of the cameras your stuff, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so I went to school for fashion design.
This, I think. That one right now is pointed at, that one right there is pointed at you.
I went to school for fashion design, and by doing so, I learned everything about creative direction. Which one? This one?
Yeah, there you go. There we go.
Yeah, so this is my work. I style, direct, cast, the whole thing.
Keep it up there. There we go, there we go. Yeah, you guys got to go. Where can they find this clip at?
JungleTea.co.
JungleTea.co, let them know. Very good. All right. But go ahead, explain.
Yeah. So I was then consulting for the Fermentation House for a year and a half. I was brought on full time, and then once I got ownership of the studio, the dance studio based in Fort Lauderdale, back in January of this year, I took a step back from Fermentation House, and now I still consult, but I'm now invested into my own company and my own creative direction line, where I take on other fashion and other businesses and make it elevated, high-end experience for all viewers.
Nice. So can you, while that is an impressive catalog of a deep portfolio resume, can you go in and touch also on the Fort Lauderdale modeling stuff that you're involved with? The fashion shows.
The fashion shows, yes. I started Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week on year 2 with them. Florentina, she's a great woman. She's definitely made her name known in Fort Lauderdale, and I was part of that, beta package, right? Before it became really big. This is back in like 2016-ish.
Right.
So social media was still like...
You're part of like the beta download or whatever.
Yeah. It was still quite
It was still
large.
in beta.
Yeah, it was still quite large, but in a very niche group, right? And then as it started to grow, I started just asking more questions. And I guess where my strength always comes from is that I'm very naive in just asking a question. I don't believe that there's ever a stupid question to ask anyone, because that's the only way that you'll get an answer, and a no just means maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what, that actually makes me think we should probably do, in addition to the organic episode, you and me should probably do a business related episode, because that is a trait that I prefer most people to have if they're going to go into the world of business. Blindly asking questions, or having the habit of asking questions, just keep getting the knowledge and information. It's good for sales, it's good for knowledge, it's good for building a business. It's a good habit to have.
Wax on, wax off,
100%. Yo, give them the sauce, Britt.
So by just being curious and wanting to ask questions and coming in very naive into all industries, because I was in like 23 years old, I just started asking questions like, would you want to be involved with Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week? And a lot of the times I heard a lot of no's, right? I was the only one passionate about it, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, that gave me like the grit and understanding of like, no one's going to know until they say sorry that they didn't become a part of it earlier on, right? That's like the sauce of, the movie Pretty Woman?
So as a straight dude, I don't think I ever saw that movie. But
that's no excuse. That is no excuse. That's
Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts?
Yes, that's no.
I never saw it.
Explain something. The way that you even bring up because you're a straight man does not mean anything. It should actually mean that you should be more curious in aspects to what it means to see the perspective of a woman and what they watch, to understand.
She was like
better.
a prostitute in that movie?
Was she a prostitute? I mean,
she's like a prostitute that turns into like a housewife.
I won't speak on what she did to earn her money because I don't know. There was no actual visual representation of that. That's
like the actual description of the movie, but like it didn't like hold my interest, but I totally watch it like from a cinema buff. Yeah, like why not?
Well, it actually, I think more importantly, the storyline of what she characterized herself as is that she was just trying to get out of a hard situation, and how she did that was actually, with Richard Gere's help and assistance, she was able to not only get out of the experience, but she saw that what money could do, and she found herself outside of the money, where she's like, I don't want the money anymore. I want to find love, right? So, and it does speak and touch a lot on women's perspective and mostly men's perspective. That's the first thing that you bring up about Julia Roberts, that she was a prostitute.
A hoe, man. We don't want to support that. But I'll check out the movie, you know what I mean? But let me go ahead and say that I want to see if I could pull this in a little bit to get you an angle here.
Okay, I'm talking.
Pull this in, so we get you a nice little side of profile. There we go.
Okay.
Sometimes when Tez does this, it's like he's pulling out the mic and he's looking at the camera.
Okay.
So if you want to go into that angle, go for that too.
Hello?
But I think this also gives you know what I'm saying? There's going to be some clips of Brittany's, my guys. Make sure you go to her Instagram. Got to make sure she's looking good, you know what I mean? Got to take care of today's co-host.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Well, these chairs are also really like slidey. Like they're very like...
Right, yeah.
You need stoppers on them.
Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. We need some stoppers in this.
Maybe just 2 on each one, just so you're like, wherever you stop is where you should stay, you know?
I'm with it. You gotta send me a reminder so I go to the store, pick up some stoppers. I'm with that. I'm down. Okay, so...
Well, the point of Pretty Woman was she walks into the store and she goes, remember how I came in yesterday? Big mistake. Because the day before she might have come in looking like, a little risque, but they wouldn't serve her. And she had a pocket full of money. They didn't know that she had all that money in her pocket. But the next day she came in with the hat and the clothes and everything and all the bags, and she goes, big mistake. All of you, big mistake. And that's truly how I feel about any industry that doesn't accept me right away.
You know what? I experienced that in the world of business in corporate America a lot. Mm-hmm. In corporate America, it's kind of like, we talk about this. I talked about this with Tez. When you are successful in corporate America, and this is why I want to do a business episode with you. I remember our conversation. The way that you do business is actually the way that I like, because you kind of put your value up front. Mm-hmm. Like, you know how much you're willing to invest, and then you know when to pull money out of it, kind of thing. So I think there's a nobility in that, and that's a whole different topic. Then let me rewind a little bit here back to the fashion shows, right? Yeah. Like some years ago over here at the Galleria Mall in Fort Lauderdale. Shout out to Fort Lauderdale, by the way. I don't know if we ever announced this, guys, but everyone who's watching in Miami, we're in Fort Lauderdale now, man. You guys got to come through.
Lottie-dottie.
You're about to find out.
Transplants from Miami right now.
Yo, is that what's going on?
It's a thing.
We're just like,
I've known for 15 years that this is the place to be. So like I'm the pillar of it all. But I will say, I appreciate you guys coming up here. It just validates my feelings toward this place even more. But I've been here for quite some time, knowing that it's a hidden gem. I like going to Miami, doing my whole thing there. But then I like coming home to the suburbs.
We're not in suburbs.
I mean, compared to Miami, you basically are. I say that in quotations because, in all honesty, it's like more. It just feels like a home more, though. It's in like Miami feels like a vacation.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Miami's
to be honest,
real life.
In my opinion, this place is one hell of a vacation too.
Oh yeah,
it's just like opulent everywhere we go.
Yeah. Well, for a long time, it was pretty retired.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. So in my life, going back and forth from like Boca to Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Miami, right? Passing Fort Lauderdale, I'd only make stops in here and just chill from time to time, and it'd be like mostly the same areas that I know now, right? And I didn't have any real reason to pop into Fort Lauderdale. So I must have just kind of missed it in my years here in Florida, on its up and coming development. But you were here for those years. Yeah,
I went to school to Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale. AI.
Yo, shout out, look at her now. Look at her now, guys. I want you to know, if you were not nice to Brittany in school, look at her now. Forget all of you. Screw that lunch lady. Screw that bully. Screw that girl who's looking at her sideways. Look at Brittany now. Success story.
No, Fort Lauderdale, everyone at the Fort Lauderdale Art Institute was super Like, we all knew that we had something really, really, really special. We were all like, because we all had the decision to like make consciously to not go to Miami. It's like one of those things where it was only a half hour more of a difference, right? To go from Fort Lauderdale to Miami. But the school and prestigiousness of the Miami school is almost like you'd have to walk in with Gucci shoes in order to be like, you know, somewhat be represented or looked upon in a certain way. But at Fort Lauderdale, it's like you're on the beach, like right where 17th Street Causeway is. Do you know where that is?
No.
Okay. So it's the last bridge of Fort Lauderdale before you reach the airport. You know where the airport is?
That airport?
The Fort Lauderdale Airport, yes.
Okay,
There's a bridge that, like, on 17th Street that takes you over to the Marriott Harbor Beach. That, like, the 12 minutes is where the airport is. I'm going to put it into your mind. You know where the Whole Foods is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that street going all the way down, there's a huge bridge there.
Okay.
The Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale was right before that bridge. So, all of us, we'd take one car from school, from college, just drive over and you're on the beach.
Nice.
So you'd be studying, you'd be sewing, you'd be doing all of these things. And in the middle of your classes, you'd be having a beer at Rock Bar. And then go right back to class.
At what age? No, not on the show. We're on YouTube.
No, I was 23.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, you know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say that we would just take the car over to the airport and just go to a different country in the middle of class. We just go traveling.
That's 10 years more I'll be able to do that.
Yeah, right. All right. So, I mean, Brittany's a success story, man, because she's on 5-star. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm out here. I'm chilling in Fort Lauderdale, and over at the Galleria Mall, right in front of it, they'd have like fashion walks and stuff.
Yeah.
And because I know so many people that they would be doing shows and stuff in there. Did you have anything to do with that?
Are you talking about the white tents that were out?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was a couple years ago.
Yeah, Spray Ground was involved.
I have videos. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have like a bunch of videos and shit.
I produced that show.
Okay, so that was you.
Yeah, that was me.
Yo, success story up in this. Okay, so for all the people that know me, all you models, all of you need to talk to Brittany.
Yeah.
You really need to talk to Brittany. I'm like, as the clips come out, I'm gonna tag your IG on like all of them. Be like, yo, go to Brit. And I'm rebuilding my IG, so yeah, more on that later. That's a pain in the ass, right? Okay, so you get into the modeling world, you get into building out these industries. And you kind of framed it as like you went from departure from that area to then the alcohol world, or like you're still blending it all together, or so you're in and out. Like how do you go about that these days?
Well, through those 10 years, I became a host of Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week. I became like the face of it all because I understood what it took behind the scenes, that I didn't need to be briefed on anything. When I walked out on stage talking about the platform itself, I knew the platform from beginning to end, and it speaks from a deep sense of who I am. The same way I speak about Jungle Tea and the Fermentation House, I understand it so well that I don't need to come up with the fluff of it all. I can speak about it with my eyes closed in my sleep. So by becoming the host of Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week, I was able to branch out and talk to different people, be a part of some really cool things outside of Fort Lauderdale Fashion Week. I've styled for Neiman Marcus on how they have their employees make higher bills for their clients. So I helped them from corporate. I was hired by Neiman Marcus corporate to teach their employees how to build higher ticket items for them to sell, right?
So you've been involved with high ticket sales?
Yes.
Love it.
And I helped Maeve Riley styled Shakira for the initial commercial for the Super Bowl.
Nice.
I was like a second assistant. That was like literally 3 days after J-Lo got back from Versace's runway show where she re-wore the dress.
So Shakira, J-Lo, where's her shout out, man? I don't see you guys repping Brittany on IG.
No,
what's up, man?
I was hired by a hire, and you had to sign an NDA because at that point probably only 30 people knew that they were going to be.
She didn't break the NDA, guys.
No. This is before it was released that they were going to be on for the Super Bowl. I was probably one of the only 30, 40 people that knew before it was released.
Nice.
So that's information that you got to like keep under wraps. I could have lost everything at that point.
Be quiet. She's the FBI in this motherfucker.
Yeah, now it's obviously, I mean, they perform. Like, I'm not giving away any secrets or anything, right?
No, they didn't perform yet, guys. You're not supposed to know this right now. She's divulging secrets you don't know in 2026's future.
Everyone, I mean, it was just really cool. Being that my name is Brittany, obviously Britney Spears was a huge influence in my life.
You told me about that.
Britney Spears doing the Pepsi commercial.
She's a blonde.
I was a blonde.
And this is the conundrum. Would have never known.
Yeah, I was a blonde for 11 years. It was great. But being that my name is Britney Spears, the Pepsi commercials.
Can you say it?
It's Brittany, bitch.
There we go.
I like to say it at the most random times, like when I'm getting tacos or something. They're like, your name? I'm like, it's Brittany, bitch. Hey. Like, what? I'm like, it's Brittany. It's fine. Just it's Brit. Whatever. Spell it however you want. It's fine.
Yo, you gotta like cosplay that, right? With like the anaconda.
No, I have a dog. I have a pit bull. Her name is Lucy, and I dressed her up as Britney Spears, and I have a Britney Spears shirt. So it was like she was Britney, and I was a super fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta show us the photo shoot, man. We'll do a slideshow.
Well, Lucy likes to. She's a pit bull, so she already gets like, poor girl. Everyone's so afraid of her, but she could leave with a stranger. So.
Oh, these dogs, man. Are they really loyal? You know what I mean? Are they?
No, she looks so scary, but like, what little do they know? She's a very intimidating dog, and don't approach me when I have her.
There you go. She's creating her own reality now.
Don't approach.
Creating her own world. Dog, do as you are supposed to. Keep Brittany, dog.
Yeah. No, it's a running joke though. I like to be the underdog. I think, even
that's Brittany's role. I mean, that's Lucy's role.
And Brittany's role. Let's be honest.
Hey, okay.
Let's be honest. Being a woman, again, you're always considered to be the underdog, the fragile, the not knowing, if you will, and then it's all of us to decide. Like, I know it's in a hyperbole itself, but I loved when the Barbie movie came out. Tell
us why.
Whew. It's so. I mean, even when it comes to who is now our president and all of those things that are associated with like male and female, all of this, like, everything is at a climax of a tip of what should be the answer. All of these topics now are so relevant to what is female and what is male and who should have these roles, and all of these things are coming up now because of those conversations that were had when the Barbie movie came out. It is supposed to be like a hypocrisy. It's supposed to be like, what is this? Like, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. There's a sense of comedy and like realism with that conversation that's had with the Barbie movie. It wasn't just like some Maytel, like, oh, I'm plastic. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. No, that's not what it was at all. It was like a true example, like a camp version of what it is to be a woman in today's society.
So elaborate on that a little bit. I did see the movie, but I'm trying to like piece together what angle you saw it from versus what angle I saw it from.
Yeah, so the way that I saw it from is that every single part of that, watching that movie, I've felt that experience once in my life at some point in my life, whether I was young, a child, an adolescent, a teenager, an adult. Every part of growing up, I felt one of those feelings that made everyone kind of like tense up. It's the same thing with the Wicked movie too. Like, it's exaggerated. It's like, it's so much bigger than life because it's made to make you feel something. If it's in an everyday conversation, maybe you'll overlook it. But like when Margot Robbie is sitting next to the older woman and she's like, "You look beautiful," and the older woman goes, "I know." It's literally meant to be like, those moments happen throughout our lives that we don't realize how beautiful we are until it's gone. And then we're like, yeah, of course we're beautiful now because this is what I am. This is my skin. This is I've always been this way. And you don't realize that until you don't have it anymore. And Barbie was just meant to be a doll. It wasn't meant to be like this larger than life thing. And us as a society made it this like, oh, she's too sexy. Oh, it's literally an hyperbole of how women feel. It's a doll. It's plastic. It's not supposed to represent every single woman out there. It's supposed to be whatever you want it to be.
Interesting. So from like my perspective, right? I would imagine as a girl understands that she is born with beauty, and you're saying that this is a struggle for them to kind of go up and down and realize throughout life?
Correct. It's
every fucking girl is beautiful. So this is what's the perception?
It's a standard of beauty that consumerism
in Florida. Not all of you, but like, you know.
It's a standard of beauty and consumerism that there's something that we can buy to make us feel something, like to feel better. Whether it's a makeup, lipstick, hair product, nails done, boob lift, eyebrow, whatever it is that to say that would give us an instant endorphin rush. Mm-hmm. That marketing myself, we have sold this idea that you can buy something to make up for something that us as women lack.
Like a hole?
Yeah, not a hole, just not. It's not a hole. It's a non-existent space that consumerism believes that can fix in a woman, and there's nothing to be fixed.
Sounds like a hole.
But that's not a hole. There's no hole to be fixed.
All right, you're saying that there is no hole. They just felt like there was a hole, which is why I always tell you people, fuck your feelings. Get with the real. So then let me kind of move on to this, right? I think that, yeah, I can see how, to summarize that point of view, right, that the Barbie is an inanimate object and it's created with like very good female proportions. And I remember like in the 90s that there was a controversy around the toy. And I remember thinking at the time, that just sounds fucking stupid to me. Yeah,
a plastic doll.
Yeah. The
size of your forearm.
But being on the other end of it, how girls feel, right? Like how girls feel about their own beauty and how it became a larger than life conversation around female beauty.
A lot of that actually, the Spice Girls helped a lot with that, because the Spice Girls were all of these individual women on their own right. One was spicy, one was like delicate, one was sporty, one was posh. So like we all found some relativeness to all of them, or one of them, or I felt a little bit like her in this part, a little bit like her, a little bit like her, and it was something that we could all kind of, it was the girl version of the Beatles.
Yo, literally, that it actually reminds me of when we were kids back in the day. There would be like Bratz commercials. Is the Bratz basically the Spice Girls?
I mean, I wasn't really a big Bratz fan, but I totally get where that could be perceived from.
Bringing me flashback to the past kind of thing right now.
Yeah, like, do you see how there was variety in the sense of like what you would find? I mean, I feel like the Bratz now, in the sense of like what that whole core is. Today's younger generations, I don't know, generation, what is it called now? Z? No, there's like a younger one. X? I don't know.
I don't know. Exactly. I don't. That one moves around.
Irrelevant. Yep. Yeah. That generation, okay, they respond very well to this Bratz core and aesthetic of this like Steve Madden, low rise, flared leggings, like just the whole thing. It just all reminds me of Brat dolls. So I see it more now than I did when I was a kid, because Brats were considered like too risque compared to Barbie.
Really? I didn't know any of this. I had no idea. Girls are going through a war zone with these toys, man. Holy shit.
But with that standard, it was a standard. It was a standard of beauty that was unachievable. So maybe you could buy a product. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's Maybelline. No, it's me.
Interesting. So then that kind of puts us in, as for the title of the video, you know, we're talking about male sexuality today. But as you see, Brittany has been in scenarios where she's gone to the extremes of every end. She's been in... Have you ever been in a relationship with a man before?
Yes.
Okay. So she's done that, right? And she's also been doing her own thing. And she's also been out here hustling in the world of modeling, out here hustling in the world of alcohol, spirits, liquor. You ever consider bringing your liquor over to the Hard Rock over here? Yeah. Is that a possibility? Over at like
we need a
Dare?
Distributor.
You know what I'm saying?
We need a distributor. Do you have a connection to a distributor?
Shout out to Candyman. He'd be the guy to go to. You know Candyman?
No.
Candyman. I'm gonna show you his IG right now.
You can't say his name 3 times or he shows up in your
phone. Yo, Candy, where you at, bruv? Yo, Candyman would be the guy to go to for all things like that. You've probably seen him before. He's like the go-to guy in that world.
Okay, I believe you. It's interesting that his name is Candyman. That was actually the first horror film I ever watched in my life.
Is it a horror film?
Yes. When you say Candyman,
there's movies that you know that I've never seen. We've been watching like the opposite movies.
80s or something, and he like shows up with like a hook, and he like goes through the toilet. It's terrifying. It's like what Mother Mary. What is that other one? Bloody Mary.
Stop it!
Stop it!
Okay, I remember it as a kid.
Say it again.
I sent you Candyman's Instagram.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no, but it's the same concept, but it's a scary man with a...
What happens if you say it's Brittany, bitch, 3 times?
I mean, I turn into the pop star and I have a snake around my neck, so...
Yo, it's... I'm about to start saying that. So then that kind of goes on into like this next area, right? Now, I've talked to you enough to know that we probably do have conflicting viewpoints on this topic, and I've kind of seen like how you operate and stuff and how you move, and I think that how you move is very reflective of how most girls think in
women.
How most girls think today, right?
Women. Why do you say girls? Girls is adolescence, right?
No, I like women too, and I like girls too.
Right, but so, what is that difference for you? What is that? What does that mean to call someone a girl or a woman?
Girls feel sexier.
Oh, okay.
But like it doesn't. I don't put too much thought into that.
Yeah, no. But the vocabulary is important. The same thing with a guy, a man, or like a masculine man, right? Like all of those 3 things mean something different. So I was just curious to know.
Maybe I would never think about that. So then, in the topic of male sexuality, right? I wanted to open it up and just kind of see a couple things that I might be able to ask you on that topic, right? What do you know about male sexuality in the time that you've been around and you've been dating guys and you've been like approached by men? Let's say that we were talking about earlier, right? Where you'll be in situations where like guys approach you and it comes off kind of like weird, it's like sometimes you'll just be wanting a moment of peace, but because you are a woman and by default woman is beautiful, you feel that if your eyes are closed too long and you're like meditating, a guy like might come out of nowhere and like take pictures of you or do something off, right? So that is like where sexuality, the reason I'm asking this question is because we don't want male sexuality going to these weird fucking places. We want you guys to have normal relationships. We want you to be in love with one of each other, be accountable. We want you to just do normal shit, have kids, populate the earth, shut the fuck up and make the world a better place, right? Get in your relationships, people. Now, when it comes to male sexuality, me and entire legions of men talk about what female sexuality is, how we feel promiscuity is destroying society on a regular basis, and that's a pretty easy conversation to have. But it is curious to see if we dig into the mind of a female girl. How do you perceive male sexuality? What is it like? What do you know about it? And how has that been in around your life?
So me personally, I grew up with a younger brother. So the dynamic of being the firstborn, but as a woman and having a younger male brother was a very interesting dynamic, as me being the caretaker, if you will, of being the one that got in trouble first if things went wrong, or being the one that needed to be accountable and like, hey, you can't do that, listen and follow my lead, right? I've felt as though in relationships, earlier on in my relationships, I felt as though that inhibited me because I tried to take on both roles of like, let me do it all. I don't trust you. I don't think that you can do it better than I can, whether it be, being vulnerable or just being a true partner, right? And I learned that through social dancing salsa and bachata as following someone truly, taking on that more of a following role in my life, but still being on guard, right? Following someone doesn't mean that you're hopeless or helpless, right? You have to follow with honestly, with more. You have to have more balls to follow someone than to lead.
Agreed. Like we call it submission. It takes a lot,
yes.
A lot and it rightfully so. It's a lot to submit your life onto someone else.
Correct.
Right, which is why we talk about like there's a hierarchy to it.
Yeah. So when I speak about my own experience, it took me a lot to be able to find my own voice in male sexuality is something that is taboo in itself because I believe, right, this is just my opinion, I don't have scientific backing behind it, so let me be very clear on this. I believe that male
my fucking boy! Hell yeah, bro, we're in the middle of a convo. I'm gonna need you to hop in here ASAP, as soon as you can, my G.
She stole my seat right here. Like,
I'm sorry.
Hey.
Steele, he put me here.
Bro, she stole it, bro. You don't have to fight her. Yo, shout out to Tez in the building. My fucking boy. So right now we're talking about male sexuality. We're seeing if Brittany knows male sexuality, what it's like, how she sees it, how she perceives it. And if you get a chance to hop in here, my boy, let me know.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that there's a difference between having there's a difference between having preferences of your own sexuality, of what you're into, and having a feeling, right? So there's like avenues that maybe a straight male won't dive into in the sense of even talking to a gay man for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean that you automatically have feelings for a gay man if you talk to one, right? And I know that there are conversations that I've had with straight men that are like, oh, I don't talk to him, he's gay, or like, oh, he's probably hitting on me, or whatever it is, and it just goes to show that there's so much of a lack of education to being okay in different, maybe where you're not the predominant person, right? If we're at like a gay pride festival, sometimes it's more assumed that you might be not straight, right? But that doesn't mean that it changes. Just because you show up doesn't mean that you're not straight, right?
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, personally, I'd rather brush my teeth with horse shit than go to a gay parade. But I'm saying this to say that, like, for the dudes listening, I know how it's coming off like confusing, but I'm gonna clarify. I'm gonna like straighten this out for you guys, right? You see, as a dude, you don't necessarily, you're tired. The question that we're presenting here with the male sexuality is that we're completely tired of, straight dudes are tired of having the LGBTQ propaganda just shoved down your throat all the time, right?
I don't believe that it's shoved down.
It definitely is. We hate it. We don't want it. It's kind of shoved in our throat from every direction. If you go to your job, it's being shoved in down your throat at the corporate level, on the TV. Netflix is shoving it down your throat. They're kind of putting gay everything everywhere. And straight dudes are tired of that shit. We're tired of seeing it on Netflix. We're tired of seeing it on the internet. We're tired of it being the predominant viewpoint of the world, which is kind of why we started the show, to kind of give like guys in the dating space a little bit more claim over their territory on what the fuck they're doing in terms of dating, right? So now, please continue the way that you're doing it, because it does make sense that you see it from that way first. But like normal dudes, we don't give a fuck about any of that. We don't see it that way. But it's important that you're opening it up so we kind of see that perspective and where it's coming from, right?
Yeah, the same way that you're speaking about that, I mean, there's the same element to where women feel as though we're tired of seeing the over-sexualization of women in general, that we are just a prop to be sexed, right? Not even to have pleasure, but to be, I won't say the F word, but like to be just a model.
Think that you can.
Sexuality.
Yeah, no, you should be able to say that.
I don't want to. I don't believe that I need to get that point across. But I do believe that they're the same way that you feel about that. I can say the same thing. I'm tired of like the Marilyn Monroes and the Megan Fox. Even Megan Fox is tired of being like the sex symbol. Like we're all just tired of being just that. So like I relate to that. I can't speak from my own experience of being a man and feeling as though something's being shoved down my throat, but I will speak upon like that opposite aspect of being a sex symbol when that's actually nothing of what I wanted to be labeled as, especially my name being Brittany.
It's Brittany, bitch. So with over-sexualization, women do that to themselves, right? Men don't do that to women. My boy, you want to hop in here?
You're saying all women do that to them? Or
Huh?
a select few?
Yes, Sirski. All right, see if we can. All right. Yo, this is Liddy. All right, let's do a quick sound check on here real quick, and we're going to continue this topic. So we just introduced Brittany real quick. Brittany, in getting a chance to meet my guy Tez over here, she is a.
Really loud.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, but it's like this.
Overly loud. Which you got it? Yeah.
I'll blow my eardrums.
We don't want to blow our eardrums, but it is interesting to see how loud that thing can get when it's lower. How does it sound?
It's still pretty loud, but I have tiny ears.
Is it? It might be that her headphones are plugged into the thing, and we just turned down the gain. What number headphones she in?
Right here. Right here. This one.
That one is
7.
Yeah, no, that's turned all the way up. It's gonna blow her ears out. Oh my God, Brittany, are you okay?
I'm fine. I was like, there's no way I'm putting this on my head right now.
How does it sound now?
Better, so much better.
Yo, shout out my dog Tez is in the building.
Yo, we out here.
Literally. All right, so go ahead and talk and let's see what it sounds like.
Oh, I should probably. Hello, test. Should probably hold it.
Hold it.
Test. That's better.
I do hear her.
Yeah.
What mic line is she in? I'll turn her a little bit. You know,
See, you're messing things up
Should
around.
be 3. But I can hear her. She can hear us, right? Did it sound
I
better
think
now?
so. I can hear myself.
Yeah, she sounds.
Test.
Yeah, you sound great. You
Thank
sound
you.
great. All right, so yeah, she's a connoisseur of business. She's a dancer, very skilled, very gifted, and is
I own a studio.
What kind of dance?
I own a dance studio,
Okay.
classically
salsa.
trained. Why are you to assume anything else?
I was assuming.
Okay. All right, I'm just He scratched his head. He scratched his head like, what kind of dancer? What other kind of dancer is there, sir? No, I'm asking you.
Ballerina. There's hip hop. There's all type of
Classically trained.
There we go.
Yeah.
So she also does.
Single denomination.
She does Fort Lauderdale runway fashion shows, and today's topic is that we're talking about male sexuality, right? So with male sexuality, as you know, like the way that we are, like we are men, we like variety, we like to be around women. Normally when you're approaching a girl because you want access to sex from the girl, right? Because women provide sex, men provide relationships. So today, in asking the question,
wait. Say that again. The part where there's an exchange. The men provide relationship, women provide sex.
Yes.
Why?
Well, where in your mind to define that? Where does sex come from?
What do you mean? Sex is like a noun, or like what do you mean?
The question is like, how do you perceive it? Like, what is sex?
To procreate, to make babies.
Yes. Okay. And actually, the reason that we're talking about sex is because before the people are dating, before they're like in the relationship and they're dating, it's like the intentions of why. And we have a pretty good understanding of female sexuality, right? Right now, the problem with female sexuality is it's like very loose, very promiscuous, and that is.
But men pay for that.
Yeah, and that's not something that we want.
No, I'm not saying it in a way that.
I want to break this down. It's like when we talk to women, we're looking for sex. We're not thinking, oh, I want to marry her. I want to give her a relationship right off the bat. When we first see you, it's strictly like, I want to fuck. Now with the girl, she wants the relationship and wants the commitment, like the security. That's what she wants that more than we do. Like,
right. Well,
we
because
first see the sex, and then it's like if she's worth the relationship, then it's a relationship.
Well, okay. So granted, I understand that concept, but at the same time, with every interaction that a woman has, there's a potential that she could have this man's baby without his consent, in the sense of like, if she wants to have the baby, that's up to her. So every conversation that is had, there needs to be a form of safety with that, because that's putting her whole life in this man's ecosystem, whether she wants to or not. If there's an right?
Yeah, if she's playing the game to the best, if she wants to win the game, she would not give up the sex so quick and not hold it, but like just be more conservative with the sex.
I'm not saying that it needs to be the first night either.
A man is not gonna like, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Sex on the first night.
So men, and we all are on the same page with that.
Unless you provide value outside of the sex, then I'll still.
But I'm just giving you guys a whole other perspective of like, yes, there maybe women are perceived to be asking those questions a lot more up front, but you have to remember
what questions
of if this could be a potential partner, because it's not like she can just
before sex yes. Or like during.
Yeah, no, before sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Women want relationships more than we do. We're not like.
I don't think it has to do with. I don't think it has to do with relationship. I think it has to do with the side effects and actual real cause and effect of connecting with someone, knowing that there is a potential that she is now not stuck. I don't like to use that word, but if there's an interaction of, a fling or a situationship or whatever it is, there is a potential that she is now representing him for the rest of her life with a human now in her belly.
Which is kind of that's the goal. 9 months.
But it is a goal with someone who wants the same thing.
The guy can just walk off and leave, and she's pregnant with the baby. So there's more at stake for her.
Correct.
So like she's gonna want the relationship more. So it's not like there's nothing wrong or right about that.
Right.
That's just the biology. So she wants it's more at stake for a woman.
Right. But it's a biological thing, not just like, oh, I want to be tied down in a relationship. It's like it's a deeper sense of not just like a commitment and security and a conversation, because at the end of the day, yes, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but the PMS and the reason why women get so like agitated on certain times of their menstrual cycle is actually because she's not pregnant. Did you guys know that?
She has a cycle because she's not pregnant?
Her biological response at certain points of her cycle, she gets angry because her biological clock, she is not procreating.
Oh, that's funny. I never perceived it like that.
No,
the
it's
anger
not perceived.
coming
It's
from
science. It's science. It's too much testosterone in her body.
So she's angry because she's not pregnant.
Yes, that's a biological thing. As a human, I'm very happy with that decision until I'm ready. But biologically speaking, when a woman is very like hormonal, or emotional, it's actually a biological sense because she's not pregnant.
So interesting because society is telling them to wait till you're 30,
till you're 40 fucking grandma.
But they're fighting against, everyone's fighting against biology.
Yeah, it's freeze your fucking age, all that. Yeah,
the women are, which is crazy. So like biologically, you have that urge. You're getting mad because you don't have a kid, but you really need to have one. But all the girls nowadays are like, I don't need a kid. I'm gonna put focus on my career. I'm gonna put it on the back.
Because there's more security. There's more security, and if you work hard on something, there is a residual of a career that benefits you versus relying on a man. Not saying that all men are like this. I'm not speaking on a hyperbole. I'm talking about a perception, just one perception out of all the different perceptions. Not even my own. This is not the way that I think. I'm just speaking from a place of in taking information from women as well. Okay, I don't want this to come across right. So the question that goes is like, okay, I'll work really hard in this relationship. I'll do all of this, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with just one other human. So no matter what is in your head, I can't force you to feel the way that I see my life going, but I can force myself to work on my career and have a beneficial life for myself and have the freedom to decide what I want to do, if it's with a partner, if it's adopting, if it's with a female, if it's with anyone that I choose. And a career has more stability in that than having the accountability of picking a partner that you might be or not be with, but you are left with the residual of having a child with that you ultimately are gifted with for the rest of your life.
This is perfect. I'm glad that you said that, because just the way in which that I was saying, sometimes the other propaganda directly conflicts with male sexuality. Some of these things also directly conflict with male sexuality. So I wanted to see if we could open up that topic now a little bit. What do you know about male sexuality? And she was giving like an example about like growing up with her younger brother. They would leave her in charge in the family, so she kind of like had to deal with all the consequences of being the older sibling. And I was kind of wondering to see where you're going with that. What is male sexuality really like?
I can only speak from having to experience it as a woman. I can't speak on what I think that it is out of my as being a woman myself.
The question is to kind of like to see how far you've been able to go inside the head of men and kind of like pull out what you think.
as speaking from a space of having a younger brother, I know that men don't feel as though they have a place in society anymore, and that has led them to believe that without a proper place, that there isn't room for them.
Ooh.
And
how old is he?
No, I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about professionals that I've watched and spoken to as just professional therapists. And there's actually a really good podcast, The Diary of a CEO. What's his name?
That's the name of the podcast, Diary of a CEO.
Yeah, but he had one men.
And you guys look really good on these camera angles, by the way. Shout out to y'all, man.
He had a men's psychologist that just studied men's psychology, and once women started entering the workforce, there was a gap of where men felt as though they were responsible for their home life, for their work life, and being home as like the dominant one, where women started taking that over, and they don't feel as though there's still a place for them in that household because women have taken it all on, not by their own choice. This is just societal situations of whatever it is today. However this is, opened up, and having women read books and getting their own credit cards. It's crazy what that does.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
I know exactly what that does.
Yeah, and society has kind of like put women against men a lot, because what I've noticed is like they've made it towards like everything is a man's fault. Like, you've been put down as a woman because of the men, but really they've done this because, and we've talked about this before, they've done this because they want to have the women and men in two separate households so they both can pay taxes, and it's better for the government.
Oh yeah, to be distracted.
This isn't for this isn't men or women's fault. This is
Correct.
The government wants us separate for more taxes, so they put it on the men towards like, you are down, you've been pinned down down. Patriarchy has put you down as a woman. You haven't been able to work, and it's all men's fault. And I believe how you were saying earlier, like how well, it's easier to depend on myself for like a career rather than a man.
Yeah.
And I believe a lot of that comes from the propaganda that society puts on women.
Or just their own experiences too.
The problem, because it's like I'd rather depend on myself than be a little bit vulnerable, or having the discernment to know to pick the right guy to trust to have my kid, or I can just stay at home and depend on him. So then it's also like having a man that you love in your, or that loves you in your life, whether it's your dad or uncle or someone, to where like it'll help you pick, either he'll help you pick the right guy, or you'll know it's the right guy based off the love that he shows you because you're used to that love from like your dad or someone.
And before the internet, I also have to say this too, before the internet, the perception of these roles of when men step up and where women step up, it was always told by like stories, right? We were always just told these stories of like the princess getting swept up by Prince Charming and this and that. So now that we have so many options and availability to decide what we intake and absorb, men's sexuality or male sexuality is now this new, I'll say new topic of conversation, because for centuries it's been decided by kings and priests and all of these hierarchy of what men should be. And that is what, at the God or whatever religion that you speak upon has like made the rules of what man does in society. The Constitution even has the word man written in it, right? Like there's all these things there are all these things that have that word in it, right? So society has created that, and with society creating that, there's faults in that, right? As it changes, so do we.
Well, go into that a little bit, because I was like on board with the king thing. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. The kings running society and stuff.
Did you know that King David, in order to show off masculinity to other kings, they would actually, I learned this, he would actually go take them to his, workout room, and they would lift heavy things completely naked to show who was more masculine.
In male sexuality, that's called gay. If you guys are doing that, you're gay.
No, but that was a form of showing ultra form of masculinity. It was to show. No, he was in the closet, bro. No, I'm not. But but this is the crazy part. It's the same thing with wearing high heels back in the medieval times. Thank you, brain. Men would actually be the ones wearing high heels to keep them higher up from horse shit. And that was to show how high they were above society, of how high their heels were. Peasants and women and anyone that was like less than the king and the royal family would be wearing flat shoes because they were closer to the horse shit in their village. Yeah. So like it's all about societal standards and culture.
That is interesting, but let's speed it up to 2025, right? Men need to have sex. On this podcast, we celebrate male sexuality, whereas in society, they celebrate female sexuality into promiscuity. I think that's a bad thing for society. Men need to get to fucking in 2025. Describe what you think, like what is a man's like mind frame when he's in that state of thought?
That's wrong of me to judge that.
I mean, girls have sex, right? Do guys have sex?
Yeah.
Like, you can judge the shit out of people on this show. The judgment is here, motherfucker. That's what we do. We're here to judge all y'all motherfuckers because we're out here dating.
I can speak about dancing with them, right? I can speak about that.
If you feel that dancing leads to what you think male sexuality is like, sure.
So yeah, so I believe that with learning how to dance salsa and bachata and having to truly be submissive to each partner, whether I trust them or not, and allowing them to decide what moves I'm doing on the dance floor, what I've learned most is that they feel their truest self is when they are leading, and they feel more empowered. They feel very confident. They feel as though they're not being led in any other different direction, and they're finally able, even teaching dance classes to couples, right? I teach dance classes to wedding couples, newlyweds, right? I always say, like, you're going to get a dance lesson, but you're also going to get a therapy lesson between the two of you. Women, I love all of you to death. I am a true women's supporter, but let me tell you, on the dance floor, it is everything of what the man wants you to do, and you don't have any say in that whatsoever. No say at all, because what happens is that when you start dancing with someone, if the woman starts dancing for you, as speaking from a man's perspective, you guys are talking over each other and neither one is winning, and it ends up being that you guys both look like you're doing something completely different to one another.
It's interesting because that actually obeys a lot of principles that are principles of real life, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to relationships, it's kind of the opposite in the beginning, but in the relationship, it's very much like that. See, before, because I keep asking you about male sexuality, I can't pull an answer out of you yet, but I'm going to just open it up for you to see if I can get something out of you, right? Before you're in the relationship, the woman has all the choice over whether or not sex is going to be opened up to you or not. It's her. She decides whether or not you're having sex. All you can do is decide how charming you're going to become, how strong you're going to become, how you're going to develop yourself as a man, how much you're going to spend time in developing your pockets and being able to be a provider and be a man that's fucking worth dancing with in the first place, or being in a relationship in the first place. If you're one of these fucking weirdos that I've been seeing around these streets, you need to tune into 5 Star. You need help. You need God. You need Jesus. You need to take the course. You is slacking. But now, once you're in the male sexuality, there's a lot of things that men are seeing. Men see the world through the same lens. All men are exactly the fucking same. All right, I want you to know that with vehemently. That is the truth. When it comes to male sexuality, I'll open it up. There's a couple elements to it. When we see girls, we like all of them. We want to have sex with all of them. We think that they're all beautiful. We want to spread our seed to all of them. We would get all of them pregnant if we could. There'd be absolutely no throttling that if we could. And also, when it comes to sex, there's a couple different dynamics with it, right? A one-on-one relationship is very possible, but also girls will call it cheating when men are not necessarily designed to stick with one woman. In fact, I would say men are very much designed to collect women. That's very much a part of male sexuality. We want to collect our women. We want to build up the amount of women that we have. Does any of that sound foreign to you? Have you heard any of this before? Do you have any thoughts on these topics?
I believe the same way that you speak about women and promiscuity. It's the same aspect of male, and if there's a man who is procreating with multiple women, they're also degrading themselves as well. As being a true standard of a man should be able to decide what they want truly, and if you invest yourself in too many businesses, there's no way that all of them will succeed. And from what I've read from successful men, when they do decide to stick with one woman, they actually do have more success in their lives.
Bullshit. Because I'll tell you this, right? I've seen it Elon Musk has multiple kids, and every time someone says that they have a kid, they want to go and they want to hustle more, right? So he will have multiple kids, or Nick Cannon will have multiple kids, and that's just people that we know about, right? But in general, I gave this example to him on the island, right? This was the island example. If you were to have 15 women on an island and one man could get all 15 of the women pregnant, and then next year have an entire society running and ready to go. But if you put a woman on an island with 15 men, I'll ask you this, and the way that you are set up, right? If you could have sex with 15 men at the same time, would you like to do that? No, right? But if I put you on an island with 15 women at one time and you could have sex with all 15, would you like to do that?
Fucking all of them.
Okay, so he doesn't sound very degraded, right? So I don't feel degraded by having sex with more women, but women will absolutely feel degraded by having sex with more men, and that's fine. But if 15 men were on it, hold on. Okay. If 15 men were on the island, if 15 men had sex with the same girl, you could only produce one baby a year. So in one scenario, the man can propagate an entire society, which is the opposite of being degraded. In fact, he's upgrading. It's quite the opposite. Whereas if that girl was on an island and had sex with 15 men, she's definitely being degraded.
So it sounded like you were saying a girl having sex with a lot of guys is the same as a guy having sex with a lot of girls. Are you saying that's
no?
Okay, so know a guy having sex with a lot of girls is a player, then a girl having sex with a lot of guys is a hoe.
And I think the word player is demeaning. How could you, bro? That makes you a king.
I do believe that men having sex with a lot of women is also a hoe.
See, so
no, men are hoe makers because only women can be hoes. Because a woman that has sex with a lot of men is a hoe.
And then if you go back to biology, if a girl gets cummed in by 5 or 6 guys within the first week, you're not gonna know who the dad is. So they're just not biologically made to be a hoe. We can bust nuts all day, every day.
But
so let me
ask this: on the female side of sexuality.
So then you expect to be in relationships with quality women with that type of mentality?
Well, if the woman is going out of her way to compete for your attention, absolutely, she'll find a way to get a good relationship with you.
If a girl really loves you, she's gonna accept anything that comes with you. This is a very unpopular opinion, but from what I've noticed, if she really loves you, she doesn't give a fuck. She's gonna let you.
Do you really love them?
She's gonna do whatever the fuck you. She's gonna let you do what. Not even let you. She's gonna just She's gonna go with whatever your program is. If you're fucking with a lot of girls, whatever you're doing, if she really loves you, she's not gonna care about any of that shit. If she really fucks with you, she's gonna stay by your side.
Does that quality represent who she is then as a woman?
Definitely does. Yeah. She's
yeah,
loyal.
I mean, if she's loyal to that man, absolutely, because that man can raise her up into anything.
Because a lot of guys think,
but
my
is
girl
that
doesn't
raising
let me
her
do
up
anything,
if he's messing around with multiple women? Is that raising her up to give her the
hell the fuck yeah?
Deserves?
I mean,
if she's getting the ring, the house, she's getting her finances taken care of, then yeah, it does. Like if that's the main
and he can
chick,
still be
yeah.
messing around with other women.
Yes, because that's not how we show our love. We don't show our love.
You see how upset
sex.
it makes her because
Yeah.
that's what women do.
Because it's a level of respect.
You guys show your respect by only having sex with us. We show our respect by protecting.
No,
you.
Incorrect.
That is why
absolutely not. I completely disagree.
We show our respect by putting our life on the line.
That might be you.
No, that's how men are.
Why? No, they are not.
Men show their love with women by their wallet and their life. So if I'm fucking a girl, right, just a hoe, and she calls me like, Tez, someone just stole from me, come save me with two, I'm like, no, call the fucking police. Now, if a girl that I love calls me like, Tez, what the fuck, someone just stole something from me, someone touched me, I'm coming over and I'm putting my life on the line. That's how we show our love. Not by having sex with another girl. That's like taking a piss to us. There's no emotional attachment. I can go fuck a girl 5 minutes later. I just forgot that I fucked her. Now I'm with my girl, and I'm loving on my girl, cuddling with my girl. That's how we show our love. We don't show our love by sex. It's by putting our life on the line. So just because I have sex with you doesn't mean I'm going to put my life on the line and die for you or give you my resources. Now, if I put my life on the line and die for you and give you my resources, then I love you.
And it's funny. I wanted to throw this in there. For male sexuality,
you guys show your love is by only being sexually.
No, I'm talking about picking a life partner and deciding that.
That's how women show their love is by being sexually exclusive to the man.
It also has to do with just
and that will be perceived as respect to the man. When you're in a relationship with a woman and she's having sex with you, he will perceive that within male sexuality as respect. And before I go ahead and make this comment, I wanted you to finish your thought.
No, it's just when you speak about a high level, when you talk about being in relationship, this is exactly the reason why women don't want to pick a partner, because those type of conversations and the level of the way that we've been brought up in society and the way that we hold ourselves accountable on picking a partner, men don't have that same account for picking a partner for themselves. So why should we be put into a situation where we have to fight with what you put as hoes? When I look at a man that wants to have sex with multiple women and not be able, and it is completely an energy thing, sir. You might just be fucking whoever you want, but every time you do that, you are exchanging energy, and I don't want that energy around me as a person. Because at the end of the day, when you talk about alignment and when you talk about procreating, right? At the end of the day, that is the goal, right? To procreate. You are exchanging energy with that person. This isn't something that's like tossed around. So when you talk about screwing around with multiple women, you are now putting that in my home. You are now putting that energy on me. And as an individual, deciding what I want to do with my life, I should be able to decide if I want to mess around with you or not. So I don't have that choice if you're doing it with other people as well. And as a high standard woman, I should have the right to be able to decide that. So if that's what you are and that's where that woman is, by all means. But if you're looking for a relationship, an actual God-given right relationship with a stand-up woman, that woman should want to expect a certain level of priority, and not only in your life, but for her life as well.
What makes a standard woman?
Hold on. Wait, are the high standard women having sex with only one man?
I don't know that for sure. I mean, I'm not here to judge a woman whatever they decide to do, but what I can say, what I can say is that there are different levels of stores, right? You can go for quality or you can go for quantity, and depending on what kind of relationship that you want of quality, you're not going to find that in the quality bins.
Well, let me say this, right? I want to open up this point. The high standard women, it's funny because the standard for women usually raises after they've had sex with someone who doesn't show them the respect that they were looking for first, right? So commonly what happens with a girl, she gets involved with a bad boy, and then she gets to demonize him and say, oh, he was horrible, he was bad to me, now my standard has raised, and now I want an even more God-given, better, higher relationship, right? So now the standard went higher, so now the next guy has to do even more work that the other guy didn't even have to do to get access to the sex, which is all that the men wanted to begin with, which is funny because I wanted to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. With female sexuality, what number of men does a woman have sex with where we can say that that woman is a hoe with judgment. Like, she is a hoe at this number.
I don't have a number.
Like, any number.
I don't have a number. I don't think that's fair.
That's interesting.
I don't think that
life
that's
isn't fair.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to be the one to put a number to that. I don't think that's.
All right, what number does a man have sex with women and he's a hoe?
I don't have a number.
What number is a man broke? Like, is he considered broke in your eyes? Like,
broke? What do you mean?
Like, he's like a bum, or like he's not worth he doesn't live up to your expectations as far as financial.
I don't.
So you'll date a dude who makes $20K a year?
No, it's a mentality thing. I don't think that you need to be at your place of like making the most amount of money, but it's a mentality thing.
I'm not saying that, but I would take you probably have a standard of a guy that you would talk to if he's maybe making $10K working at Starbucks, a barista. Would you take that guy serious?
Is he hustling on a side to do something else? Does he see a bigger dream? So then that's not the guy for me. But it has nothing to do with how much. It doesn't. It's not a number. It's a mentality.
It goes because he's not ambitious or something.
It does.
As long as he has ambition and he has a future.
And with the right woman by him, yes, that number can multiply. Yes.
He's happy at making $10K at Starbucks.
So then that number doesn't.
Not? But he's a good person though.
Okay.
And he's got godly standards.
But it's the number. But the number with the guy. So there is a number for her with the guy. It sounds like as far as like the income wise, as far as what he makes. Because if he's making $10K at Starbucks a year, that's not enough for you.
That's like poverty level to be working off the government, and that's a mentality of like
you don't date men at the poverty level.
I don't know. I don't.
But that's the equivalent. But look,
that's like because your standards are at a certain place.
For myself,
right?
That's the equivalent.
Which makes sense.
A guy being a broke dude is the same as a hoe, a girl who sleeps around a lot. So that's the equivalent. So it's interesting how she kind of has a standard.
She won't date the broke dude. We won't date the hoe.
Yeah. She has a standard.
No, that's not. That's a mentality. It's a mentality. It's not about broke.
Which mentality are you referring to? The man of having a lower income or the woman having a higher body count? Because these are like the same level equivalents for us, right? As a man, if a girl has a high body count, she's a bum. Let me put it like this: if I was sitting right here with a porn star, do you think I would want to be sitting on this camera saying, "This is the girl that's my girlfriend. I love this girl, the one who's been dogged out and fucked by damn near everybody on the internet"? I wouldn't, because that's embarrassing.
Want to have sex with her?
Yeah. Because sex is like taking a piss for her.
In real life, also, it's not that high of a quality for. But a virgin would be way higher, right?
This is the disconnect. The disconnect is women have a hard time like going out of their own shoes. That's disconnect. Because she said, but you would have sex with her. She's not still understanding that sex is so much more different than men than it is for women. No. You value sex to a whole nother level than we do. So sex to us is literally...
Well, that's why she won't give a number, because she doesn't want to put judgment.
Sex to us is like taking a piss. So it's like, she's like, but you would have sex with her. Sex to us is like fucking nothing. We don't give a fuck. There's no
maybe
attachment.
There should be.
That's the thing that girls have a hard time doing is what I've noticed is, and it would make them a lot better with dealing with men if you just take yourself out of your own shoes and actually for a second like figure out how men operate, how they think. Because when you tell women what you think or what men really believe, they're like, oh, these fucking all guys aren't like that. No, they are.
We're all the fucking same.
They're just not being open about it. We're just actually telling you to your face. So a lot of girls they're like, no, it can't be like this. I care so much about sex. You have to care what I care about.
No, that's not true.
We are completely different. A lot of girls, it's like, whatever I believe, whatever I want, this is what he wants. No, we are completely opposite. We want the opposite of everything that you want.
Well, that's why you have.
This advice is for the ladies. As soon as you start putting yourself out of your own shoes and for a second realize this is not all about me, let me figure out what he wants so I can fucking actually know what a man wants so I can end up being happy. Because if you keep thinking whatever I want, that's what he wants, you're never going to be happy. You're always going to be perpetually single, just getting fucked and dumped and never get in a relationship. And by the time you actually realize this shit, you're going to be 40, 50 years old and you're like, fuck, I should have actually cared about what he wants. But then it's like, oh, now I want to figure it out when I'm old as fuck. But when I was 18, 21, I didn't want to listen to anybody.
Yeah, so let me steer the conversation with all the thoughts that we're having in this direction, right? When it comes to male sexuality, right? In the beginning, it was hard to kind of get you to like open up about what it is versus like when I talk about being DJ matchmaker, or if I mention matchmaking, right? And I say if I say it to like an older lady or some lady in general, like I talk about matchmaking, the first thing that they'll say to me is, oh my God, you could do gay matchmaking. To which the first thing I say is, no, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with that, right? Because the way in which they are open about things, they're so cool with every other sexuality. They're cool with trans. They're cool with lesbians. They're cool with gay dudes. But as soon as you talk, they're cool with promiscuous women. They're cool at hiding the nastiness of being a promiscuous woman. They're cool with like bigging each other up. But when you talk about male sexuality, men, we like variety. We want to bust a nut inside everybody. We want to fuck them all. We want to Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. You say that, and it for whatever reason it makes them upset. It didn't years ago, but it does today, right? So let me kind of like, now I'm bringing in where we're going with this. Male sexuality. Men want to have sex with a lot of girls. Girls should know that, but they pretend that they don't know that, and then they say, oh, you know, I'm hot, but for whatever reason the guy is cheating on me and he's lying to me. But if your sexuality requires you to cheat, and I don't recommend cheating. If you're going to date multiple girls, tell them up front, you fucking loser. If you need to cheat and you need to lie for your sexuality, then men are actually the underdog in the sexuality of the situation. So as I'm kind of like steering the conversation in that way, I want to ask both of you guys, why do you think male sexuality is in the underdog position for the biological need to make love and have sex with another person?
I'll say this first. So it's not really male sexuality, it's masculinity, male masculinity, because that's what women have been told that's been putting them down these past few decades is men, the patriarchy goes back to that. So it's not really their sexuality, it's just masculinity. That's what's being demonized throughout society right now, because that's been the problem. You're a threat when you're masculine. You've been holding everyone down, you're unpredictable. So that's really what it is. They don't want you to be masculine anymore, because when you're not masculine, you're easier to control.
I don't agree with that.
Well, it's either you agree with it or I agree with it. He agrees. It just doesn't matter. Like, that's what's going on in society. These are just observations, and you don't have to agree with it.
Yeah.
This could be like you don't have to agree with anything that I'm saying.
Yeah.
These are my observations that I make in the world. But masculinity is being demonized. That's why they're okay. They're pushing that pride, gay propaganda.
Right. It's good when a woman's masculine, when she's a boss, but not a man.
You're easier to control when your masculinity is suppressed. You're gonna go along. You're gonna put on the COVID mask. You're gonna take the booster shot. You're gonna do shit that's gonna make you a bitch or someone who's just easy to manipulate and control. So it's really masculinity that's a problem to society, not really their sexuality. It just comes down to being masculine as a man. Because if you're masculine as a man, then you're toxically masculine. But let's go back in times to where you needed us to fucking kill tribes. You needed us to go hunt and kill animals to survive. That's not toxic. When a firefighter goes into a burning building, that's not toxic masculinity, because he's doing it for the benefit of somebody else, or the man or the woman. So it's like, when they needed us to be masculine or toxic, they used us for the time, which is fine. I'm not gonna sit here and complain about that. That's just the reality of life. But when they needed us to be very masculine and go fucking kill animals and go hunt, kill tribes to create the world that we live in today, that was never a fucking problem. But now, since men have made time so fucking good, so fucking soft, it's like, we don't need you fucking masculine crazy fucks anymore. You already fucking did what you had to do. So now let's take all that masculinity out of you and make the world soft as fuck, so then everyone can be safe. So that's what it is.
Yeah, so break it down for us. When is it, do you prefer, you were kind of, in talking about male sexuality, you kind of like outlined a gentleman who you consider not a hoe. So I imagine this is like a guy who had sex with maybe one girl his entire life or something like that. So when is it like you like that sexuality, or when is it that you're like, okay, that dude should definitely be like, hey, yo, suck my dick, make me a sandwich, get your ass in the kitchen, do what I say. How do you perceive these like different dynamics?
The extent of, I mean, point blank, if you think about a woman's brain and a man's brain, it's very simple. Men think about a box, they take out the box, they open up the box, they take out the file, they take out the folder in the file, they take out the paper, and then they put the paper back. Then they put it back in the box, and they put it back in the shelf in their brain. Women, it's like a big electrical wiring, and sometimes one flicks
Shout
off
out to your girl. That reminds me of the little rope meme.
So basically what that comes down to is that we can all think, and us as humans, we think that we have it all figured out and putting things in boxes, right? And I'm just here to tell you that the more that we have these conversations of true passion, right? And I applaud that you're very passionate about this whole topic, because at the end of the day, it is part of society to be with a woman, at least as a straight man, right? To like have the end goal to be that you are happily in a relationship. Hope maybe that's not your life goal or whatever it is.
We love women, man. We want to have sex with all of them.
Right, but I mean, you can. Yes, but I'm not even going to get into that. That's your own prerogative.
Love them a lot.
That's your own prerogative. And I could say the same thing of like, fuck man, I want to live my life and not have to worry about them bitching and complaining to me all the time, right? I could go that route too. I don't believe in that, in saying that to my true self, because I do believe in life partnership. But with that comes compromise and having to listen to another person. When you guys do your podcast, you guys do have conflicting, things that you want to accomplish, but you come to the table and you say, hey, this is what I want. Hey, this is what I want. Okay, I don't actually believe in that, but I see your point of view, right? And I believe that with what you're saying and with what you're saying about male sexuality, right, is that this over toxic masculinity, there's toxic femininity, there's toxic everything, but where do you find the balance?
I've never heard of toxic.
I don't think masculinity is ever toxic or femininity is ever toxic.
I'm saying, like, you hear toxic masculinity when a guy's been controlling or he fucking sets boundaries, he's considered toxic, what is a toxic feminine woman?
That men don't need, we don't need anything from men.
I've never heard like someone
that I could understand what she's saying. We would just view that as a girl who's very masculine, so we'd consider her a boss bitch, and then we consider her unattractive.
No. Time out. It does not have to be about being like a boss. You can still have all of those things. I'm talking about like women that are just so angry at men.
Like
the same way that men are so angry at women.
I don't think men are angry at women, but
with toxic
women
masculinity, right? Like that's a toxic version of masculinity, because it doesn't. If you just remove toxic, then you just have a masculine man and a feminine woman, and that's okay. That's okay to be masculine. It's okay to be feminine.
Do you perceive the way that women are angry at men as a natural response or a propaganda response?
In today's society, it is natural. But there are levels to that as well. I'm not saying what you see on the internet and what people want you to stay attached to keep the TV on is really the truth of what we all feel. They want to keep us divided, because the more they keep us divided, they can take power, whoever they are, whether it be
propaganda.
Right? So the whole propaganda thing is actually self-made for their own demise of keeping us like, you have the answers. They don't. It's actually having these conversations and not being so angry at each other and realizing that we aren't the problem. We are actually the only solution to the problem. All those other channels to create hate between both male and female or both point of views, those are the problem.
I think the gender that wants to have sex with the women is more likely to love the women, and the gender that doesn't want to have sex with the men is more likely to hate the men, right?
But isn't that like part of the chase anyways from the beginning?
Pursuit? Yeah, no, I mean that in a healthy way.
Right.
Now, when you were laying out the propaganda, are you saying that you think that they're giving us the tools to kill ourselves, or they're like going after us psychologically?
Well, I love the point of view that you made about taxes, right? The idea is that the most success we had as Americans were when we did have a middle class income, right? Where
those were the days.
Well, more importantly, when you had a dinner table where both voting individuals could have a conversation and say, this is what we believe in, these are our values, and this is what we want for our family. Okay, we were able to make those decisions with our dollars and with our vote.
Where's this Brittany been?
This is still the same Brittany.
Is Brittany, bitch?
Yeah. So now that we don't have the dinner table, we've turned it into a podcast table.
Hey, subscribe.
we don't have conversations at a normal hour between partners or within marriages. We're stuck on our phones. We're stuck watching television of someone else's opinion. We don't have those same values to say, this is what I want to show up and show progress in this area. So let it be at the polls. I believe in local elections do make change. I've had plenty of conversations. I'm very political. Okay, guys, I'm not going to get into that here, but I'm very, very political.
If you want to warn me ahead of time so I could switch the channel that we're on.
No, that's fine.
YouTube doesn't like it, but Rumble, you can say whatever you want with a passion.
My point being is that I believe that us as a society are focusing on the wrong things of you versus us versus them. Because at the end of the day, it's you and I at this table. Everyone else is going to sleep. Everyone else is living their lives. But you and I are having a conversation to decide how we move forward in today's conversation tomorrow.
And you're saying that in terms of society as a whole in general, or in society with male sexuality, or
culturally?
America's culture, or
America's culture of male and female, where you see in other cultures and in other countries that everyone follows along to the male in society, right?
Yeah, interesting. So we could open that up a little bit. The way that I thought the conversation was going to go is like, I open up what is male sexuality, and if, like, for example, if you were to ask me what is female sexuality, a woman, there's a couple different ways that she'll use it, right? The best woman for a man is always going to be a virgin. The most highly valued woman is going to be one that is untouched and unfucked by a bunch of other men. We hate that. We don't like that. We don't like it at all. Some of us have a very low tolerance for it. Some of us have a high tolerance for it because they're not really keen in the world of dating. And then, that woman, if she's preserved herself and been able to maintain her purity, now she can have a white dress, walk down the wedding aisle, get married to a man, start a family with a man. And then there's other sides to female sexuality where, like, let's say like a travel attendant, right? Or a girl who's like on the planes. These are girls who are gonna use their sexuality to be like more self-serving. They can go off to different countries and they don't have the social response or the social pressure of their neighborhood to have eyes on them, so they're anonymous. And when they're anonymous, they go out and have like, girls' night out at Tulum, or have sex discreetly and have like wild, crazy times with different foreign men, so they could just do what they want to do. And then there's girls who, commoditize their sexuality. And I'm not saying that they're bad people. I know a lot of them. I know a lot of you girls, you know me, you follow me, but and I say to them all the time, just because you're doing a bad thing, and you know it's a bad thing, because you tell me it's a bad thing, but you're not a bad person. I know them, they're not bad people, but they're doing a bad thing with their sexuality. It'll hit them later in life. And then there's women that are overly promiscuous with it to the point that I don't even have to describe that. We all know how bad that is. But it's funny that we know that the girl who is like pure, if she wanted to marry a fucking billionaire as a man competitively, a billionaire would be like, yes, I want that woman. No other man has had her. She is mine. I can give her my last name. This is my territory. This is who's going to carry my name and create my family. This is someone I love deeply. And even if she has that purity, you're still going to want other women. She's just going to be higher in your hierarchy of how you organize your house if you're that kind of guy that says up front, I wear my sexuality on my sleeve. I like to have sex with multiple chicks. You could be one of many, but you'll never be the only one. Most guys don't have the balls or the chest to articulate that that's how they are. And then because they can't do that, they are kind of chasing sex with a girl.
Ashamed? Are they ashamed of it?
I think that they are, and I think that when you're younger as a man, you're taught to keep your sexual wants as a secret. So like when you're in middle school, high school, if you weren't really good with women, and I'll lay it out to you like this. You know what a girl told me? Before, she said, the way to kind of understand this topic is that the guys who were having sex in high school are still having sex today, and the guys that weren't having sex in high school are still not having sex today. Right? That was like a little seed on how to understand male sexuality. But it is repressed, because what happens is if men go around and say what I'm saying, the way that I'm saying it so casually, the society doesn't have a good response to that, but they have a very good response to girls dogging out their sexuality, right? It's okay for a girl to show as much skin as she wants on the internet. And she's
I wouldn't
a hero,
say it's okay.
And she's a queen.
I wouldn't say that's okay.
Well, maybe you have a higher standard, but I know some hoes.
But what I'm saying, though, is that just because it's not okay, but people pay for it. There's a difference. You could pay for McDonald's. It doesn't mean that it's good for you. Right? You could pay for, I don't know, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that it's okay. There's a reason why.
Instagram, you're talking about OnlyFans?
I'm talking about anything. I mean,
like paying
prescription. Subscriptions or anything.
It's not okay, but it's more socially accepted nowadays. And going back to the point to where you were making is like guys are being guilt tripped out of like their masculinity, so they're constantly just being beat down to the masculinity, and it's psychological. They're not like getting physically abused or anything, but like dealing with women in general, they're always just testing you, and the way that they test you is just by testing your masculinity. And a lot of guys fail that test.
Frame testers,
I'm gonna go into her frame. I'm gonna act like a bitch, and then I'm just gonna adhere to whatever she has going on, and then they just all their masculinity just goes out the window.
Yeah.
Then they just become.
I feel as though that's the relationship between a child and their mother.
No, it's society. It's really society, or them thinking, men being logical when dealing with women. They're like, if I want to fuck her, I want to have the best relationship with her possible. I'm gonna identify with her wants and every one of her needs. So she's gonna test me by seeing if I fall into her frame, and he's thinking that this is what she wants me to do. But no, she's just testing you to see if you're really that fucking guy, and if you're gonna fall into her frame or not. And if you do, she's gonna think you're a bitch, and if you don't, she's gonna think you're that guy. Like Beauty's trying to turn the beast into a fucking, like he's the beast for a reason. Like she's working to change him, like because he's a fucking beast. But when you're a guy and you're just a simp, a little bitch, you're already like, there's nothing there for her to like, she's testing you to see if you're gonna fold or not. So that's what it comes down to. And back to when we have these conversations, I always like, it comes back to feminism. Like this, like feminism is the problem to this shit. Like this is all cancer, and I'm not saying that women need to be beat down, and I'm not saying that, but like it comes back to feminism. Because this has changed women. It fucked up their head thinking that they're against men. Men have been holding them down. They need to work and become.
Women have never been held down by men ever. It never happened. You were never oppressed.
And feminism took away women's great. Feminism took away women.
Women were never oppressed.
Feminism took away women's greatest asset is like their femininity. Like they used to embrace their femininity, and like feminism took that away from them. So now they become men. And it's like actual masculine men don't want to deal with masculine women. They want the most feminine women. And now those feminine women are so fucking rare to come by. So it's feminism. Really, feminism fucked everybody up. Yes, we are better together. Men and women are better together. We're not saying hate women or hate men. Like
we're saying the opposite. Love women.
So then don't say that feminism ruined it all. That doesn't. That completely defeats the purpose.
If you feel like it didn't, explain how it did not.
Feminism got us to where we are today. It ruined women really more than it ruined men.
100%.
It fucked up men. Don't get me wrong. Men are bitches today, but like women aren't embracing their femininity anymore. Like they think, and that's a question I was gonna ask you earlier. I forgot, but I'm gonna ask you in a second here. A submissive women, like if you ask women to be submissive, or not even ask her, like you bring up the word submissive, they get like in defense. And when that's showing power, like you're being empowered by
propaganda
being
got them
like exactly. Yeah. So
but she was talking about how it's very powerful to submit yourself to some. You put it as
vulnerable. You're vulnerable, and it's a true sense of being vulnerable with someone and being submissive in that sense, especially on where I come from. I learned a lot of it dancing salsa and bachata in the dance world. Outside of the dance world, I am a boss woman, right? I have my own company. I've been in very successful relationships, and I've decided to leave those successful relationships because they weren't serving the purpose that I saw my life going in my future. We just went on to different paths, right? So with all that to be said, I learned so much about being submissive, and then I learned how to be truly more in my femininity and my feminism state of vulnerability and submission on the dance floor first, and then I applied it in my real life to know that it's a safe place to do. The accountability of male influence in society, the same way that you guys are very passionate about men need to stand up for themselves and do all these things, we felt as though there's no one to stand up to.
You feel like there's no one to stand up to?
Right.
What does that mean?
She trained herself to be more feminine, it sounds like, and like kind of lower her guard a little as far as just having that like masculine.
Well, dancing is beautiful. Humans need to do that.
Women need to hear that shit, because like there's women out here who are masculine as fuck. They're probably thinking in their head like, how the fuck do I just let go? Like, how do I do that? And then that's like some.
Yeah, but that also has to do with. But it has a lot to do with the accountability that you guys feel as though what I'm hearing, and I could be wrong. This is just my first judgment of you guys, is that you feel as though men have it figured out and women need to get with the program. That's what I hear a lot.
Well, it depends what level the man is at. Most men are bitches. Like that's the point of the podcast is to make them dateable.
So, time out. Wait. With that statement,
go ahead.
Where do women go if most men are bitches?
No, we tell men all the time. We need to tell men.
They go
so they take on that role
into sharing a man who's a real man.
They go to the top 5% of women.
For them,
like you just said,
they have to share the man. That's what they do, and that's why a small majority of men procreate, and a large majority of women procreate because they do share the same man, which is what it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Men want to have sex with everybody.
I believe that has to do a lot. Like this whole idea that men need to be having multiple partners. I think it's a lack of pulling back, right? It's like,
tell us how we should pull back.
Yeah, well, because if you think about, if you're married for X amount of years, right, you look back on a 50-year relationship. God rest my grandma's soul. They were married for 56 years. 56 years they were together. And that is a power to be said, that they've been together for that long and have had no problems outside of their own marriage, right? There are things that come up, but to think that you've lasted 56 years with one person is something very powerful in that, than just to say, like, I had one woman at the top, but throughout those years I test drove other cars. It doesn't show value to like the 1964 Chevy that you actually took care of and can still ride into the sunset with. So of course, with each perspective there's something different, but I'm sure as a human yourself, you want to look back at those years. Were you the complete best version of yourself to that one person that you promised your life to, right? And that is something to be proud of, not that you allowed yourself to fall into the trap of promiscuity with random women that didn't offer as much value to the one person that at the end of the day has your back no matter what.
Yeah, no, I mean, having a mic drop, there you go. So this is what we advocate for. We do want men and women to come together, and if you are, a man who can only command monogamy, whatever, if you want to do that, go for it. But I just want to understand. I'm going to ask you this question. Do you understand that I'm telling you all men from existence, from the dawn of time, from birth, their sexuality is that they are hardwired to want to have sex with all the girls?
Yeah.
Okay. So why is that shamed in your mind? And also, even in your own response, it's been like, yo, he should pull back. He should pull back.
Disease.
Well, what if I said that you should, do you like to date men that are like capable of taking care of you, tall, rich, handsome, provider?
Sure.
So if I said you should date a short, broke, kind of fat dude, how do you feel about that? Shorter than you, fatter than you, not as smart.
I mean, again, you're talking about a mentality thing when you talk about weight.
He has a bad mentality.
Well, yeah, then that's not for. It's not. Again, there's a different level of maturity that happens where he's not so mature, right? Yeah, you have friends that you want to associate yourself with, that motivate you, that inspire you. That's the type of partner that I would want. That I hope that I inspire them as well. Right. I don't think that it needs to be set in stone that they're a millionaire or bajillionaire or even, successful just yet. But if they have that mentality, I believe in them, that multiplies. Yeah, so the point that I'm making is that you can't change your preferences. You can't change your standards. You're just attracted to what you're attracted to. Right. You just are who you are. Men just want to have sex with everybody. It just is the truth. It just is the way men are. And for you men out there, I'm telling you to become what women are attracted to. I don't think women need to lower their standards in most cases, except for the money thing. I think that the answers I've heard on these podcasts is insane. You're like, yo, I want a dude making $1 million a month. I'm like, go fuck yourself. You don't deserve horse shit, because like the girl who wants the dude making $1 million a month is like doesn't qualify for the man. She's been fucked by everybody. She's got an Instagram showing skin everywhere. She probably has OnlyFans. We just came from Miami. There's a whole shit show over there. But in Florida, I've been in Florida my whole life. I know all the professionals. There's a lot of shit shows everywhere. I do not want you men to do anything but be 5-star. I want you to be top of the top, best of the best. Go to the gym, get yourself on point. Stretch until you become taller if you're a short king. You know what I'm saying? Or find a girl that likes that. But we want men to become sexually attractive to women. We really want them to be able to command a relationship with a woman. We want her to... Like, we're fighting for men to fall in love with women. You know what I mean? We're fighting for that. That's the fight that we're in. Or at least, see, the way that he was talking about the dynamics earlier, there's what women want and what women respond to. Women will date Superman and turn him into Clark Kent. Do you know who that is? Yeah, of course.
Okay, so they date Superman. They like Superman.
I'm more of a Batman fan, but yeah.
Okay, he's too cool for this. So they date Superman. but they turn him into Clark Kent. So when he becomes Clark Kent, a little docile puss, because Clark Kent in his mind is like he is wearing a human being as a mask, and the human being is like kind of like stumbly, kind of awkward, kind of weak. So a girl will use her testing to turn you into that, and when she does turn you into that, she's not attracted to you anymore, and then she hypergamy monkey branches off into another guy that she is attracted to, because that is the nature of women. They're just,
the game never ends.
The game never ends. They're designed to test your frame as a man. I don't know if you know the concept of frame. Have you ever heard that before?
No.
So the frame of a man is like the congruency of a man, right? So if he's on a dating app and he says, you know, I'm a multi-millionaire in Dubai, I've got 45 different boats, I own 100 different businesses, and then you meet him, he's that guy all the way through. Like, he is that guy. He can command that value. Like, he's strong, he's anchored to the core all the way through. So if he has that frame and he says, well, look, if you don't like what I'm bringing to the table, you can shut the fuck up and get out of here. I'll find someone else that does, because he can do that, because he has the frame to do that. So if you test him, you'll find out real quick he's not going to fuck around. But if a man doesn't have frame, then when a girl starts testing him, he's looking to get his ass divorced, he's looking to get his ass broken up with, he's looking to get his ass kicked to the curb. But this guy needs this show. He doesn't understand why he's in that position to begin with. You know, that is, okay, so a man with a hard frame, right, or a strong frame is usually better at his understanding of his sexuality. He knows he likes girls. He knows he likes multiple chicks. He knows what he'll do to do that. He'll know, like, look, I'm going to either put you girls in a threesome, or I'm going to see girls at different times, or I'm going to buy different homes, marry all the girls, and put them in different houses. But he will spend his lifetime developing a way to bring those women in, because no matter how he's doing it from a soft, vulnerable, loving, all that shit, right? He's doing it from a place of caring about the girl and loving the girl. So if men are vehemently going out of their way to provide all this, at what fucking point are women being oppressed at all is the thing. Because between the two genders, right, when you see that a man is going out of his way to provide a home to you, provide all life for you, to make sure that you can work for him or be his or build his family or build his last name. But in a modern day society, girls say, well, you know, I see that I have it all with this man and he's provided everything for me, but fuck that. I want to go work for another man and have a career and freeze my eggs and have success by weight of an entire career that doesn't give a fuck about me when I die, and then die alone with cats and not even have a baby. Like, why is that the more prominent mentality than just shutting the fuck up and submitting to men who want to do nothing but take care of you?
You don't know that, though. That's your own perception of that. You want that, right?
That's not my own perception. This whole podcast is sorry, because I made that perception. But that's what's going on in the modern day.
I'm talking about what you personally want for women to be able to trust you in your relationship with them, right? I'm talking about to say that every man wants to take care of the woman and not have them be with their own mindset to decide what they do with their own money and all of those things. It's scary, because at the end of the day, I can walk away with a career and money in my pocket. If I were to stay with someone who doesn't have the same values, right, and the same idea of what I believe as a partner I am, then there's going to be a conflict of interest, and one of us has to leave. And it's not going to be you, because you're the one with the pocket. It's going to be me that has to start over again.
Who gives a fuck, though? Boo fucking who, right? You have to leave, whatever.
No, because you invested all that time and money into that relationship.
Let's like contrast, like, I don't like to usually make them personal, right? But like, I could use your mentality if we were going to use your example of your grandparents that you were just giving. So if we make it like you as an individual, right? If we contrast the way that you're conveying this mentality, so Brittany's mentality versus like Brittany's grandma's mentality, what do you think the contrasting differences would be? Because like, she stayed, you know what I mean? She was just like ready to stay, like 56 years, let's fucking go. Yeah. Why not go for 56 years with a man and just say, you know, fuck the career, I'm gonna submit to that man and what the fuck that man does? Because
men aren't made like my grandfather anymore.
Explain that. That could be legit pointless.
I'll say this: it's because women are working now. It's the same way if
and replacing a man with money.
Were sex robots to where guys could just have sex with robots. They didn't have to deal with the real women all day. Then they would just be having they wouldn't be having sex. They wouldn't be putting in all the work, taking them on dinner dates, fucking taking them on experiences. They would just be fucking these robots. So now the girls, they have jobs now. They make their own money. They became independent of men. So now it's like, why the fuck would I deal with the man? I don't want you, or I want you, I don't need you. Before they needed a man to fucking pay for their bills and to fend for them. So now women are just more likely to walk away from the relationship because they don't need it.
Well, because men don't have the same accountability that women have had to be a housemaker too.
Explain
well, they always
why.
have the same accountability. It's just a propaganda with the feminism. Women
men were supposed to leave the house, go to work while the woman takes care of the house at home. Yes, everyone can agree on that. But now that the woman is out of the house working herself,
well, she should be in the fucking kitchen.
She then comes home and still has to take care of the household, where the man is just like, I worked all day, I'm tired, I'm gonna.
If she picks the wrong man. If she picks the right man, she doesn't have to do that.
And the option of having that accountability of a man to be like, pick up your socks and your stuff because I have to pick up my stuff and my socks, and we'll do the laundry together. A relationship is this: if I'm 90 and you're 10, that's okay, but we still at least make 100. I hope that when I'm at 10 and you're at 90, you can be that 90 while I'm at 10. And that's where like that partnership really comes in past generations. And culturally speaking, it's always been like men do that outside and women do this inside, and that's what makes 50-50. But now it's just a congruent statement of 100, and that fluidity between one partner and the other partner who goes, hey, I only got 20% today, can you handle the 80? Because tomorrow I'll be at 100 and you can be at 0. I got this.
Yeah, that is what I want men to be. 100-0.
Everyone's confused now because the gender roles have just gone insane, because now men are women and men are now men are women and women are men.
That's the biggest complaint I get from the girls is that the men are soft.
Exactly equal. They just knew exactly what the fuck their role was, and I wouldn't even say one holds more weight than the other, because the women would stay home with the children, which means a fucking lot, and then the men would go to work and put the work in and make the money. So they knew what the fuck their roles were. So now it's like, when a woman, she has her career, she has her fucking job, and then the man, he wants to act like a bitch half the time. Now everything's all fucked up and the shit's just not gonna work out. So you really have to be in your natural state of masculinity and femininity. The man has to be in his natural state of masculinity, and the woman has to be in her natural state of femininity for it to work. For you to have the best relationship possible, and actually you guys respect each other, and you're not just with each other maybe just because you guys are cohabitating for the rent or fucking the children. Like, you guys actually love each other and it'll work. You have to be in your natural state of femininity and masculinity for it to work.
Yeah, and you're gonna neither toxic version of either one of those.
There's really no toxic version. Toxic masculinity is just traits that women don't like in men. Rather than
they like the toxic things in the bedroom. They don't like to admit that.
Toxic masculinity, it's just when a man says he wants multiple women or he has boundaries. Like, the shit that they don't like about men, or what they say they don't like in public because it may just come off as just an uncomfortable truth or make them look bad. That's what's toxic. So
I wonder what that definition is.
Men aren't walking around here saying toxic femininity. It's just whatever women don't like in men, that's what's considered toxic. So there's really no such thing as toxic masculinity. So men, you should never even use that word. Like, don't fall into that frame. But yeah, that's really it.
Let me ask the question this way, right? So not Brittany the individual anymore, but like back to women, right?
Okay.
Now that we've kind of, and the reason I opened up the conversation this way was to kind of see if we were able to like tie in these points, right? Are you able to see how the way that male sexuality is, and the way that we keep kind of defaulting to the girl is able to go and have a career and replace the need for a man with money and a career, which is a paradox to my reasoning. Do you see how a woman having a career is completely confrontational to male sexuality?
No.
Okay, go ahead. No. Why do you?
Because she's contributing to the family.
Is this like a 50-50 thing?
It was so hard for her to say that.
No, because I wanted to put it into perspective of I know naturally the idea is that it's yes, but I honestly wanted to like not just say no because of my own experience, but because I wanted to fully like take that in of like why, right? Because I knew your next question was going to be why, and I want to make sure I have that for you.
Let's go.
The answer. She said naturally the answer is yes. Naturally she is like the answer is yes.
So
but the propaganda comes
no,
in,
it's not propaganda.
No.
It comes from my own experience.
Let's go.
From my own experience.
Let's
That's
go.
not
Bring
propaganda.
Why is naturally the answer? Because you said naturally the answer is yes.
In society, the answer would be yes. The same way.
Wait, in society, you think a woman having a career is
controversial?
No, it's against male sexuality. Like combative to, contradictory to.
In this conversation, in this context, yes.
Okay. Well, either go off on why for you, and then go off on why for society.
So for me at least, you need a 2-income household to make it out of the rat race of it all in today's society.
Yeah, okay.
If you want a man in a relationship in the sense of wanting him to be a part of your family, as in like a home life balance, if you will, which is debatable as well. But if you want that dynamic of a man be able to come home and not have to slave his life away while you stay home and he's just always out, then there needs to be some type of income that a woman is bringing in to have like a healthy ecosystem of finances for the most part.
You're speaking to that as society or for yourself?
I mean, from my own experience as well, I've realized that while I'm making money and my partner would be making money, there's more freedom to be had between the two of us to spend time with each other, because we're both feeding into our pockets to then lead us to more freedom to decide to do it with what we want and have more time together.
Now, it's interesting what I think when I hear that, and you're probably not saying this, but what a lot of women think is like, if I stay at home and my man does make enough money, I'm giving up too much power, in a sense, like I'm losing, like he has too much control and power over me. And
in the 100-0, right? 100% man takes care of the house, she's 0%.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying, like if he walks away, then you're left with nothing. But a lot of women believe, like when she was saying that, I'm thinking in my head, a lot of women believe if they just let the man work, bring home the bread, and they take care of the kids or they stay at home, they're probably thinking like, damn, he has too much control over me. I don't like, they feel a more sense of security from what I'm getting when she's talking, from them working, rather than having to depend 100% on the man, because they just don't have that. Naturally, I believe they do want to depend on the man, but with the propaganda in society, it's making them
just the accountability that men don't have in society.
It's making them, a small percentage of men do have, but most men, I will say, they don't have it. But it's making women so hard to be fully dependent on the man, because they're just, I don't want to say the word afraid, but they are afraid,
fearful.
But they're just, they don't want to fucking, fearful. They don't want to fucking just give all that to a man, because they're like, they just feel so really vulnerable.
I think there's two things going on there. One, you can make the argument, I give my life to the man, and then he could leave me at any point in time. But like, women initiate the divorces, right? So if there's two things going on, I think that if you're a woman and you think the man would leave you, you know you ain't shit. For sure. Because have you ever been in a scenario where you're talking to a girl and she's definitely not in the girlfriend frame and she's definitely not in the wifey frame, but if you give her girlfriend wifey attention, she completely is, even in and of herself, she knows she doesn't deserve that, so she'll reject that type of relationship that you're putting onto her, right? So I think you're an absolute piece of shit of a woman if you think that a man's gonna walk away from you, because again, men in their biology have to go through a crazy amount of work in order to even be attractive to a girl in the first place, and women don't really see that. They don't see the times that men have to put in the gym, or the times that they had to work a low income job to then get promoted to a job where they have enough money, or the fact that they had to mess up or fail or have a bunch of different relationships with women in order to be the whole package to a woman, right? Like, it starts off when you're a guy, you bring a girl flowers, give her a hug, give her a kiss. It's like very slow building for a guy, whereas women can just start having sex as soon as they feel like it, because where does sex come from? It comes from girls, right? Now, whether or not that is the truth, it is happening, right? Women do live by this fear of like, well, look, I don't know if I want to give myself fully to a man, but so therefore I'll fully surrender to a career. And that is contradicting to a male sexuality, because see, with let's say dating someone like yourself, Brittany, I think that if I was in a scenario where I'm dating a girl that has like the personality that needs to do a lot of things, there's a couple ways that in the 100% zero scenario that you need to be able to have a woman like with this type of personality. You need to be able to you need to give her like things to do. You need to have a business and you need to put her in it somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if it's this podcast, she needs to maybe do like distribution, marketing, or if it's like you are a real estate agent, you need to have her also like in that game, maybe showing homes or something. You need to have her.
My grandma was like the receptionist for the chiropractic office her entire, from age 20, I don't know, when my grandpa, when they got pregnant, they were 18, so 28 after he graduated chiropractic school. She was the front desk, and she became the accountant. She was part of the business, so she was just as much invested as he was. They created the life together.
And see, that's game. I'm trying to put you guys on game right now, because a part of male sexuality is that men perceive sex as respect. When the woman is blowing him, having sex with him, staying committed to having sex with him and him alone, he perceives it that way, and this helps him build his last name. That's really what he's in it for, by taking on the woman to begin with. So if he's able to do that with her, put her in the business, and then she is able to run the household the way that he left her to, and she's able to be in the business the way that he is commanding her to, that frame is so much better for men in general in society, and that's the frame I'd rather have all of you men in. I'd rather have you all building your own business up and being able to provide a position to your woman. And see, a lot of women have that 50-50 mentality, and I hate that they say that, but like, I'm hoping that really just means that they want to be a team player. And if you're able to command team playership from the girl, you're going to be in a much better situation than being a guy who is fully into a career while she's fully into a separate career, and then you walk into your house and then you have to get on the phone and be like, hey honey, oh yeah, when are you coming home? Oh, I'm already home. Oh wait, you're not gonna be home till 6 o'clock. I'm here at 5:30. Or no, you're not gonna be there till 8:30. Oh, you're staying late. Oh, you got to do stuff with your boss. Okay, yeah, okay. You got to do stuff that doesn't build my fucking name. You got to do stuff outside the fucking relationship. You got to do stuff that has nothing to do with us. Fuck that. No guy wants that, because every single guy will view that as disrespect. Because he's so secure with how he is, he knows that he wouldn't want to be in that position in the first place.
Fair.
But
that takes a lot for a man to command that.
Become that fucking man. Again, see, we're not telling you to change your attraction. We're telling you to become what she's attracted to. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's right. And men, become that man. And also, ladies, women, you're not less of a person if you're under a man. Like, a lot of women believe that if I'm working for him, if I'm under him, then I'm less of a person. So they'd rather get a job, put kids in the daycare. So you remember this for the man and mainly the ladies here. Remember this. You're doing this for your family. You guys are a team. You guys are building a family, your own empire. So it's like, if you're working under your man, it's not just for him. That's for your kids too, your next generation. So think about the bigger picture rather than it's me versus him. I'm underneath him. Because a lot of women will hear that I'm his receptionist or I'm under him. So no, he has this power over me. I'm going to go work a job under another man. I feel comfortable doing that because I'm more independent that way. And then I'm going to go take my kids to daycare rather than me have my own schedule being under my man and raising my children. So a lot of families, it's like they'll put their kid in daycare and then let the daycare raise their kid when the girl's money, all her money is going to just pay for the fucking daycare when you could be staying at home with the kid, raising your own kid. So remember this. It all comes down to you guys are a team working together to build the next generation. So think about the bigger picture with this shit.
And I gotta open up the door a little bit more on what male sexuality is, because I wanted to describe it to you in full detail and kind of pick it apart from you, because I wasn't able to get enough of it out of you. But that's fine. I mean, that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn, right? So with men, right? Men, I mean, we're all the same. We're all the fucking same. If you think that there's a guy that you know that's not the same as what I'm saying, he's lying to you. It's a lie. He's fucking lying. And he's good at it because he's been doing it his whole life. Now, with men, we want to have sex with every girl, and we will. But there's some caveats to this, right? Let's say that you're a guy and you've been particularly bonding with like one of the girls that you're seeing, right? So she would be in this scenario just like aware. Let's say she's aware that this is happening. He can be in a situation where he's having sex with 5 different chicks, and that takes a lot of work for a guy usually. It's not the easiest thing to do. In fact, for a guy to do that, it takes a lot of time away from his ability to command resources and provide and be at a job, and it can fuck up things, right? So he will be doing that. But if he is doing this at any point in his life, which is what men are doing, he's going to be doing that for all of his life. It will always be this way. However, when just because sex doesn't have as deep as an emotional attachment as it does for women, men absolutely do bond. Men absolutely do feel respect. So when a woman is going out of her way to keep investing into the man, like damn near the little tiniest things that a woman does in this frame of sexuality, the man will remember forever. Like, for example, if you were to like give him a gift, give him food, give him time, attention, be his peace, be kind to him, show him respect through having sex with him, he has no choice but to start prioritizing your bond the most, which is competition, which is why girls wear makeup, right? Everyone's competing all the fucking time. So then the girl who invests in that man the most will have the bond that keeps the man over time. And that is where I think women fail in the more that I do these shows, is they fail to have the mentality of what can I do to keep a man. It's always what I could do to get rid of him, my fear of leaving him, or he could leave me. But again, that's why I said you're not shit, because you don't have the ability to, like the grandmas that we're referring to, like back in the 1950s and stuff. They don't have the ability to keep a fucking man, but keeping a fucking man is so simple. It's the simplest thing in the world. You fuck him, feed him, be quiet, and he's gonna stay with you forever. There is damn near no way to lose a man if you're showing him respect. And I wanted to know, have you heard of any of these concepts before, or is this all like brand new to you?
No. The theory is keep the I don't know how to say this without it coming across a certain way, but keep the bottom half empty and the top half full.
What does that mean? Is this like a sex thing? What?
I don't want to talk about organs, okay? Because that's not what I want to be perceived as on the internet. But you keep the bottom half empty from the waist down.
Oh,
you keep that empty.
Keep the man. Okay, drain your man.
And keep the top half full.
Like feed your man. Fuck him and feed him. Yes. Right? Is that it? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'll fuck with that.
I'm not gonna have that be quoted as what I say on the internet. But if you catch my drift,
fuck him and feed him. So she understands that.
I'm not.
So do women understand that, or are you just more mature and wise than most women?
I'll say I learned from having a successful relationship with my own two eyes and experiencing that in the sense of what it takes to have disagreements. And what I'll say though is, by watching it, I am a beta version of seeing it and going, okay, I want that, but I want something better. Mm-hmm. Right? So I saw it and I don't want the exact same thing. I think my grandfather is 1 in a bajillion of a man. Okay, if I get a fraction of what he is as a life partner, I know I will be extremely successful in my relationship, because I know what that takes to have a man of that standard. But even for myself, I saw as my grandma, God rest her soul, that there were things that she didn't feel like she was comfortable speaking up about because she was the woman in the relationship. Me, because I was the firstborn, I have more of an opinion on things because I had to take on that responsibility as being the firstborn, you know? So even now I get into little arguments with my own grandfather, being like, no, Grandpa, I have to stand up for what I believe in, even if you don't completely agree with me. And then he does come around and see my point of view. But of course, his first reaction is like, can you be quiet for a second? And I'm like, yes, I hear you. I have empathy for you. I completely understand, but I'm here and I have an opinion and you need to hear me out. So then there's a conversation, and at the end of the day, it's like, are you happy? And at the end of the day, I'm always going to support my grandfather. I'm always going to support what he needs as me, as his granddaughter. And I see him as like truly a stoic man, and there's nothing that can change that for me. And that's how I hope to see my partner too, as a stoic man that can do wrong, and I'm just there to support him on his journey to make sure that he's held accountable for staying that man.
This is very, very, very interesting. What is it that you and your grandfather disagree on with your opinions?
That's very personal.
Something generally can give us.
No, I just, I mean, the way that I've handled my grief with my grandma passing, I wasn't like the first one to start working again. And I had the best month of my entire career. A month before she passed away. She passed away with just in 2 weeks of being sick, and I stopped making money for about 2 months, and I just could not shake myself of doing that. And though in that moment my grandpa couldn't understand why, then I had to explain it to him and actually stick up for myself and be like, hey, this isn't normal for me either, and I'm sorry that I've let you down in this way, but I was grieving. So that was just me not just submitting and going, you know what, you're right. I needed to at least stand up for myself and go, hey, like, this is really what was going on. And I didn't ask for help. I didn't ask for guidance because, everyone's grieving differently. And I didn't think that anyone would want to be, part of the problem like I was having with my own. And I'm a solution-driven person, okay? If there's a problem, I need to have a solution first before I ask for help or if I need guidance or something. So in that case, I wasn't even reaching out. So he was just upset that I didn't ask for help yet. I was trying to handle it myself.
Condolences to your grandma, right?
Thank you.
But is there anything that you and your grandfather would talk about in the world of dating that you guys see as contrary points of view?
Probably.
Because I know if I talk to him, he probably sees the world exactly the way that I see it.
Yeah, he's a very traditional man, and with them raising me with such traditional values, as the firstborn, I had to make my own values out of that, right? I couldn't be submissive to another man, if you will, right? Like, I had to be the one making the decisions for my family.
It's interesting. So
As a firstborn.
You do think it is more common to take traditional values, what's propagated society in America, in our culture, for the better part of why we exist. It's better to go against traditional values because traditional values are bad and not traditional values are good? Is that the mentality? Or?
No, I think I believe that it's a pick and choose situation for each family. I don't believe that one way. I don't believe that like everyone can read the same verse in the Bible and it can be taken completely different ways with each personal experience that someone has. I think you have to pick and choose in today's society. Not everyone fits into being a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse in today's society. So we're all on the internet, right? We have so many options of how we make money and how we live and how we move in our lives now that the way that we have our relationships have to change as well.
Yeah, we're all dealt like certain cards, so it's like you got to deal with the cards that you're dealt with the best. But like the best thing to do is just try to maintain your femininity. If you are women and you have to fucking go hustle or whatever cards you were dealt that requires you to go out
dancing
there and
helps.
grind. Yeah, dancing. There you go. You got some advice right there. But just try to maintain your femininity as much as possible and not really turn into embrace that masculinity as a woman. And the same as a man. Don't fucking change society. They're gonna try to guilt shame you, fucking call you all type of shit. Don't turn into a little bitch. Because you're gonna have to do the best that you can do with whatever, however you can. But,
when I teach wedding couples, it's really funny to have the bride to be is always the bridezilla, right? They always get this persona, which is very true. Where they
give a woman a little power, she goes crazy with it, bro.
Yeah, no, them and their mother, right? And I've seen it more times, more and more. The more that I explain to them, and I have to truly give the man more confidence than the woman to go, no matter what you do, you're correct in this. Even if you mess up, it's your job. It's your responsibility. And so many times I had to tell the bride, like, you have to turn off your brain. No matter what you say, it's wrong, right? Right on this dance floor. Maybe outside of the relationship, I can't make any decisions for either one of you. But in this space where I'm teaching you how to dance, no matter what he does, whether it's incorrect or incorrect, you have to allow his brain to figure it out, because if he doesn't, he will be on autopilot and he will rely on you, and then you're dancing with him and he's not dancing with you, and that's very embarrassing to see on the dance floor. As a wedding couple, like, it's just very embarrassing. And if I'm teaching you, I will not allow that to happen. I've blindfolded the brides before. I've like told them to do whatever, like I've put them through the ringer to make sure that the husband to be understands that whether they mess up, and it's so funny because they get so nervous, like, oh my God, I don't want to mess up. And you see the wife to be like, see, he's gonna mess up. He's gonna like, it's so telling. No, she's like, I can do it. I can help him. It's a thing of like, let me help him. I know I can do it better for the both of us. And I'm like, that's not going to train him to know how to dance. I'm sorry. You have to let him fail.
Become
and
you
have to allow him to fail with your non-judgment.
And that goes back to his mindset. He's in a scarcity mindset. I know we're talking about dancing, but he's like, if I fuck up, I'm gonna lose this girl, and he has no one else to go to. With the girls, they're so used to having so many fucking options that something as little as dancing with the girl, worrying about messing up, that scarcity mindset comes into place. Now with the girl, she has so many, and they don't realize this. When this is going on, they're not thinking, I have so many options. If this fucks up, then I'm gonna go.
They have the most abundant mindset of all time on steroids, bro. It's insane.
Very abundant. So it's like with guys are in such scarcity that they're so afraid to fuck up with just anything on a date, dancing, whatever the case is, because they don't have that abundance mindset. So that comes to another point. Man, you have to have an abundance mindset. No, there are millions of girls out there. That girl that you think she's so special, she's the one. No, there are a million of her out there. And rather than not,
she is not unique.
You have to believe that in order to have the best dating life possible. Because guys are DMing them all day, every day. They are in such abundance. Like, have you ever dealt with a girl? She's just honest about everything. Like, she just says everything. Like, honest about every
just because men reach out does not mean that they're valued as much as the person that you're with.
See, look at this abundance mindset in real time happening right now, bro. They're in my. I'd be thankful if I had some girls in my fucking DMs, even if they were low quality. Like, even though I'm getting hit up and there's tons of candidates on the fucking table, fuck all these men. I know my value. I can do whatever I want. I got more men coming through.
No, that's the opposite. It's the complete opposite. We
have no options?
We live in a society where we think we have options. We live in a society where we think we have options. That's not actually true.
Oh, true. She sounds red-pilled. So that the man that like in more like relative to your age point, right? That the man that you're attracted to like damn near doesn't exist. Are you aware of that?
What?
So let me kind of break it down like for you, right? Because there's principles, right? There's things that you guys were saying earlier, and I was going to bring it down to principles. I know that you were trying to say like there's things in unique categories, but in relationships, everyone's the fucking same. It's exactly like dancing. Dancing obeys principles. Relationships obeys principles. All women want the same shit. All men want the same shit. All relationships are the fucking same shit. The more that I get into this. Now, how much money does a man have to make to date you? Seriously, marry you?
I don't have that number. I never thought about that.
Well, think about it now.
I'm not gonna put that out. I can have a private conversation with you.
Okay, that's fine. How tall would you feel like the man needs to be for you to get him?
I mean, I'm already a tall woman.
I think she's a very good size. Okay, eligible bachelors.
I'm 5'6".
That is a very good size.
But like,
is that a tall chick? I think like 5'7", 5'8". That's like a tall chick.
5'4" is average.
Okay.
So I mean, I would. The shorter men that I have been in a relationship with, it did hinder our relationship at the end because I felt as though he. You
don't like short guys then?
It's not. No, I think that it has a lot to do with like a persona of. What's the word?
Overcompensating, maybe? Like,
yeah.
Like doing too much?
Let me put it like this. When you're in your home and your grandfather walks in and your girlies, they're walking in your home and the wedding photo right there on the wall is you and that man that all the girls are excited to talk about that you married. What does that man look like? How tall is that man?
I hope that he's good to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't like.
How tall is he? How much does he make?
Fair.
What does he do?
I don't think that that's fair.
Life isn't fucking fair.
No, let me tell you. I have things that I want in my relationship. Okay, the type of character that I see him as, the type of things that I see his life being. But
what kind of character do you want him to have? I love this political correctable. What kind of character does a man need to have?
He needs to have philanthropy in his mindset. He needs to want success in his own terms of whatever that means, wants a family, wants standards in his life, understands the values of a traditional family and what that means for us, right? Mm-hmm. He has to love dogs, very important. Big dogs for that matter.
Hey, okay.
So yeah, I mean those are just some things off the top of my head that are
philanthropic, successful family. has values. Standards means that he only gives his attention to her and nobody else. So see, all girls are the fucking same. And the dogs thing is cute because like you want someone that's good with animals, good with kids, and this is like coded language here too. Like success means has money driven, has a mentality by which he's going to be richer than. Do you want him to be less money than you or more money than you?
I would hope with the way that society's set up that he can make more money than me, because it's set up for him to make more money than me.
Fantastic. So you want him.
Because if
men, which one of you is making? How much money are you making a year, Brittany?
That's none of anyone's business on the internet of how much I make.
That's fine if you don't want to say it. Can you give us a rough area, or do you have
I'm above poverty.
Okay, well, bro, I know a bunch of motherfuckers right now below poverty, motherfucker.
What I mean is that
it is not set up for men to make more money than women. It's exactly the fucking opposite.
No,
how did you come to this conclusion?
Because I need to have babies, so that puts me out of work.
Why the fuck you at work then? Like
that's a choice.
Yeah, men don't get to choose. Oh well, you know what? I had my child that I just had. I have to stop working. Men need to work until they're 80 and their chest explodes in their fucking heart. Women are different than men. Women can work for 8 years and then be like, "Fuck it, I want to go be a mom now."
No, it's not. That's not like F it. Like, I want to go be a mom now. But if I want to have a child, I
you
need
have
to
the
make
option.
sure.
Men don't.
And that's a choice. It wasn't made that way. You have the choice whether or not you have kids. So that's like
right. And it's correct. It's my choice.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. The way you said it, it's like, oh, it was built. You kind of made it like it sounded like maybe you didn't mean this, but it sounded like a victim, kind of like you're a victim because like men have a better chance at certain opportunities than you. That's the way it came across. I don't know whether or not you meant that, but
no,
having kids is a choice.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the kid part. I'm talking about like if any woman decides that they want to have a kid, a lot of the time that they get fired from their job because they're not being as like they have to decide, oh, I have to pick up my kid now, or oh, I have to take care of other things besides my job. So naturally, if you are in a household where two people are taking care of this one child, a lot of the time that responsibility relies on the mother to take care of the child if there's a problem. So what I mean by that is that I would hope that in my choice of a life partner that they're able to, if I need to take a sabbatical, that's an option for me. Not meaning that I need to not work forever, but if the same way that you spoke about giving my income to childcare versus staying home, I hope that I have that option, which that's not guaranteed.
So when you say that, do you perceive the sabbatical as women are designed to make less money?
On
a deep level,
designed to make less money. No, but there are statistics to prove that it's like 80 cents to every dollar.
All right, so that's the wage gap myth, right? Like women make less money than men. The wage gap myth. So if the wage gap,
it's not a myth.
It's a myth. It's a myth.
How is that a myth?
I'll debunk it right now, right?
Okay.
You start a business.
Mm-hmm.
This is men. This is women. Men cost more money in your scenario, right? Women cost less money. Who are you going to hire? Because you need to make the most money.
The women.
So why do men get hired at all if women are cheaper?
I don't have that answer. I was just talking about like
because there is no wage gap myth. It's competitive. Men and women both have to fight very hard to command the value that it takes to get paid. If you could only hire fucking women because women were cheaper, 80 cents on the dollar, you'd only hire women. There is no wage gap myth.
There are companies that do that.
There's no.
Wait. So
it doesn't exist.
Wait, yes, it does.
We were just talking about choice because if women that's not accounted for the time off. Women take more time off for maternity leave. They have children. That's not taken into account vacation time. So yes, when you add all that, women they get pregnant, they take more time off than men. Yes, they get paid less by choice. It's a choice, not because they're just getting paid less because they have a vagina. It's by choice.
No. And it's not because they're a woman. It's not because they're.
Time out. But when you talk about so yes, you hire all the women, but it's still less than what a man makes. Period.
Period. How?
If women are making less, then you're still hiring the less.
Well, then why would men get hired at all? They'd be making nothing. They'd be making everything. The argument still doesn't work.
Because you still need men.
Because if you're hiring the men, you wouldn't hire the men. You'd only hire the women. So then the men wouldn't even be in the workplace. They wouldn't be on the market.
There aren't enough. There's still able bodies to be.
But with your own example, you'd be hiring all the women, so men would be making no money.
I mean, I'll look it up on LinkedIn. That's the best option to have to find out that answer.
Just listen to the logic, though, right? Logically, if there was a wage gap between men and women, and women were making less money, and you could hire women for less money, you could just hire all the women, and you would never hire men. This is what they outsource people for that exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's feminist propaganda.
Again,
no, she's like, she maybe heard this somewhere, but like that just
no. Those are literally they're labor statistics. That's not what hearsay.
It's a wage gap myth.
It's not. Look up the sense. Like you can look at actual things.
For 5 years we've been talking about this. We know this.
So then, where are your sources that you think that it's a myth?
On our link tree.
We just told you too. Like
I'm just walking through the logic before we do sources.
If I hire a guy and a girl and I pay them both $20 an hour, but she takes a month or two off for maternity leave, then yeah, she just got paid less because she took a month or two off.
But
if she takes more vacation time,
that's not
bad.
Talking
about salary.
That you're talking about. That source, it's not accounting for time off and maternity leave. So,
well, and then
women do end up getting paid less, not because they have a vagina, but by choice.
I think women fall into that myth too because they're only attracted to men that make a certain amount, right? So like all the other men that are invisible to them, like the guy who's like doing the mail, the fucking barista, the dude who cleans the pool, the dude who does the lawn. None of those are fucking women. Right, and then the deeper that you get into feminist propaganda, it's like girls make a lot of fucking money at bullshit jobs in society that doesn't make society a better place in any way whatsoever. And then the deeper that you get into it, there's like no women fighting to go like pick axes in coal mines or to go offshore and do offshore drilling. There's no women to fight to go do construction. There's no actual fight for women to go make more and enhance society. It's just like they do these jobs to feel like they're at a higher respect level. So they only do jobs that look good or politically make them look good. It's never like... there is no way where you paint this picture where women are oppressed by the salary. It doesn't happen. In fact, I'd argue that if you are to account for OnlyFans, extorting your sexuality, if you're to like bar for bar put a girl up to a guy, girls easily these days make way more money than most men in same-sex scenarios or different sex scenarios.
Okay. I mean, yeah, and who's paying for it?
Men. 100%.
Yeah. Did you know that the studies of the way that we take in pharmaceutical, it actually never included women's hormones into that situation? So the same way that you would take an ibuprofen or Lexapro, whatever it is, women's studies when they were doing the what is it called when you do the tests of X amount of people in a study lab?
A census?
It's a census, but it's a controlled science. I forgot the name of it.
Like a hypothesis, control group.
Controlled group, yes.
Right.
Every time that women came up with, if there were 3 women out of the 10 and they had different results, they would just remove them from the study and go off of the 7 men. And it actually would have taken more time and resources to figure out. But this is the crazy thing about women's hormones and cycles, that it takes 28 days, and it's a crazy, crazy, crazy process. But my point is that our studies, even in the sense of how we ingest our medicine, has never been looked upon as though it's as delicate as making life. Because at the end of the day, if it's respected in the same sense of what you speak about from taking time off and having maternity leave and all of these things that affect our bodies differently than men, we are not even being equated into the scientific representation of taking medication for our own issues that society brings on for the pharmaceutical companies to profit off of, right? Like, we have different reactions to medication than men. We didn't realize why, but it actually has to do with our hormones, whether our testosterone is high or our estrogen is low. All of those things make up a different reaction to our own bodies, and we've been completely exiled from those examples, and we've just allowed ourselves to be like, oh, well, I guess the medicine doesn't work for us. So I'm just saying that we've stayed quiet in situations just to be like, oh, I guess it just doesn't work for us, because we didn't realize that we didn't have the knowledge to fight and say, hey, we should be a part of that study. We should be researched more because our bodies are different. I'm not saying that every situation is like that. I'm just giving you guys another perspective to go, wow, in so many spaces we're not represented to be part of the conversation because no one stood up for us. With all the men in the room, they went, we don't need to put them in the study because that doesn't match our statistics here with all of these other studies.
Pharmaceuticals is a little bit different than dating, but if we get in pharmaceuticals, I know exactly which specific group of people are running that shit, and that actually could get us canceled. In your example, are you trying to like point out that women weren't accounted for by men control groups?
What I'm saying is that men could have easily, and the scientists in the room could have easily stuck up for the women to go, hey, maybe we should divulge in this a little bit more, instead of just saying, okay, these answers make more sense. Let's just remove the women from the conversation so we can get to the profits of making this drug.
I'll say this.
I think men are, in most scenarios, always standing up for chicks.
I don't agree. You guys are both going against me every time. I don't agree.
You don't feel like... No one's going against you. We're here to talk about male sexuality, and no one's going against you. We're here to like level you up and like to teach you how we see it.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't feel like we're going against. No. But again, if anything, we're teaching you how much men love women.
Yeah. The more we have this conversation, I realize like feminism really fucked women up like bad. Like
because like this studies and all this shit is like
actually
insane.
Worse than men. They fucked them up bad.
Yeah.
They literally trained them to like. We were talking about how women are made to fucking make children, but they're putting a career first because society has told them that men is the problem. Like I always knew this, but it just keeps it's actually feminism because propaganda, all this was to infiltrate the mind of the women, to put us both apart so there can be two incomes. And then they know that men want pussy. They value pussy so fucking much that they're gonna do whatever the fuck they need to do.
And if you can't have sex, you'll adapt to the one who gives the sex. That's exactly what they did. They divided it. Exactly what you're saying. So again, when it comes back to male sexuality, I'm not exactly like I love what you're saying, and I think that it's a good topic. And while you were talking, I was thinking, man, like I should probably do a pharmaceutical episode with you, but that could literally probably get us canceled. But like when it comes to that, I wasn't sure. Did you feel like men as a whole in society should have taken this moment to stand up to include women in that study? Is kind of where you're going with this?
Yeah, that there was more questions that were unanswered to go, why is it different? Why
are women's bodies different with Advil than men's bodies?
Correct. Like, why is there a difference? And it was only because there was one woman scientist that trained her whole life to do like cross training, like marathons and whatnot, that she knew that with different cycles of her, wherever she was in her hormones, she needed to train her body differently depending on where she was in her cycle. That was her own study that was done. So when she had the opportunity to be part of a larger study for this pharmaceutical project or whatever it was, she was then removed from the study after X amount of time, and she went to them like, hey, I'm a scientist too, why was I removed? And they said, oh, your data doesn't match up with the rest of the data involved. And she clocked it right away and went, oh, it's because of my hormone, like I know where I am in my hormonal cycle, this is why it wasn't taken in. And those are just like very minuscule things that if she wasn't a scientist and she wasn't educated in like her own body, she wouldn't have been able to find that answer as clearly as anyone like me would have been like, oh, okay, I guess you're probably right. I probably do have some weird stuff because I don't know enough about my own body. Like I do, but I'm saying like as like a normal civilian that, just runs off of whatever we were taught in 6th grade. Like you're not going to know enough about your body. We're perceived to know just as much as how a man's body works, and our bodies are just so vastly different.
And you do bring up a good point here. Now let me kind of reel this all in, right? You're bringing up a good point, and you could probably see from my perspective here that example goes a little bit outside of the category of men and women and the intersexual dynamics of dating, and a little bit more into that whole example you gave is a little bit more into corporate bullshit, just a bunch of corporate idiots that can't really come down to one conclusion. These examples do not kind of like overlap.
They do.
You think that
100%.
corporate retarded people in the way that they interact
They're
is
in
similar to dating?
relationships. Those are real humans.
Yeah, they probably do date, but the way in which that this example was illustrated, it was to say that in a corporate scenario, instead of coming to women and understanding women in studies, that these men excluded women from the biological understanding of Advil. All that is great, and like again, that seems like a topic for another day. But if we reel it back in here, back into dating, right? That doesn't really illustrate where we're going with like how feminism which is more in the category of dating, is going out of its way to derail male sexuality or how men think or how men perceive the world into it derails it to the point where it's a taboo topic for men to say what they want to say. So what I'm telling you is like kind of the reason that we're bringing that up. And I think you and me we should talk about the pharmaceutical thing a whole different day. That's a whole separate topic, right? But what I need to illustrate here is how this looks like in the landscape for a whole, right? The biggest complaint that I'm getting from women when I talk to them about dating is that the very first thing that most of them say, the men are too soft. The men are too soft. So why are they soft? Well, I'm going to break down some reasons why they're soft. One, the propaganda of homosexuality is too hardcore now than it was before. Because what happens with this propaganda, or the way that that's laid up, is that it's too widely accepted in school. So they concentrate on that a lot more now. So that is like an overarching factor in how young straight men perceive the world, right? They are being taught that this narrative of being soft and vulnerable is strong and masculine, and that's exactly the opposite. No matter how much a woman tells you she wants you to be soft and vulnerable with her, the second you do that, she'll lose attraction to you. And as a man, you probably shouldn't really have those components inside yourself at all anyway. If a girl was emotional and she needed to convey what she's feeling towards her man that she's loving and admiring and respecting and in a relationship with, she would probably actually appreciate a stoic man, or a man who's able to understand what she's feeling and not be swayed by her emotions, be her rock and guide her onto the next thing. In fact, I think you actually said your grandpa's stoic and you respect him a lot. That kind of overlaps a lot, right?
Yeah, but I've also seen him emotional, and I still don't change the idea of what stoic means.
Emotional about what? What was he emotional about?
About losing the love of his life.
Okay, he can do that. He can do that. Trust me. Because again, what does that come down to? It comes down to male sexuality. He loved that. You know, like in the animal kingdom, there's this like meme going around where like a female fox, if the male fox dies, she'll just go off and find another fox. But if the female fox dies, the male fox will grieve for years and never find another mate. And that's because of the two genders, men are the romantic gender and women are not. Women are the gender that should be falling in love. And men, I think, should, I've said this before, I think once in your life you should definitely fall in love. But that is more of a feminine frame for men to operate in versus having love, which I would define as if you have love for a woman, you're showing her with your actions that what you say you will fucking do in front of that woman each and every single time.
I mean, you look at Paul Revere and those love letters that would be sent through the Mustangs, through the country of long letters of devotion and love and dedication. That doesn't show that he was not masculine. That showed vulnerability in the sense of what he wanted to do to her and to love her and to do all of those things. So there is a sense of still vulnerability within being masculine of what you want. You can still do that. You can still be vulnerable and masculine at the same time.
Showing love to a woman is not vulnerable. Showing love to a woman is, I'd say, natural. I'd say vulnerable, when I'm using that, is like, hey, baby, I lost my job today. I don't know what to do. Like, that's vulnerable. She doesn't want to hear that shit, right? She wants you to solve the fucking problem.
Being a bitch.
Yeah, being a bitch. Society will, again, now it comes back to the example of the younger boy growing up in school. Society's teaching him to act like a feminine man, like a homosexual man who acts like a feminine bitch. They're saying that this is okay, and if you act like this is okay. And I'm saying that is not okay. I'm saying that a young boy right now, he's taught to suppress all of his sexual feelings towards a girl. And because he's taught to suppress that, he never truly gets a chance to understand how to express it unless he comes to a space like this and we say, hey, look, maybe you should write her a little note. Hey, look, maybe you should give her flowers. Hey, look, maybe you should give her a hug. And that's more advice that you would probably give as a parent, right? I mean, there's no fucking kids watching this show. But like in general,
let's be honest, all men are just like 15 years old and their skin changes. You know, they get a little more wrinkly and little, gravity starts to weigh in. But men are really just 15-year-old boys stuck in an adult body.
Maybe when they're having fun, but like you have to be extremely intelligent to make money. Versus, I'd argue, as a man,
in relationships.
In relationships, maybe. I mean, if you identify that through the frame of like when you're with a girl, and I would say that when you're with a woman and you're in a relationship with her, your relationship to her should be much more playful than business, right? Yeah, 100%. You should women don't necessarily, in most men's experiences, deal with reality well or negative information very well. They love fucking fairy tale, playful, happy go lucky land. In fact, that is a huge premise of these problems with the difference between men and women is women are taught that they're living in a fairy tale land, like fairy tale propaganda, like Disney fairy tale propaganda. You're the princess, you're the only one, where men don't feel that way at all. If men were more vocal about their point of view, all that would have been died, and we would have said, no, we like a couple of you ladies at the same time, and some of us are willing to take one.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
What did he do in this example?
He had one main girl, and then he still made millions of dollars, and he had other women to fulfill his appetite.
That's the way that
That's the way that men are.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah, that's 100% the way it should be. Because if you can command great resources, you want to multiply as many times as you can. A man should have the ability to command as many women as his sexual appetite is able to incur. Well, why? Well, let me ask you this. What? It's like you ever heard like the can of soda example?
No.
Okay, so for example, if this was a can of soda, and I passed it to you, and you put your hand on the can of soda, and he put his hand on the can of soda, and he passed it to me, and I passed it to him, and he passed it to you, and I told you to drink the soda, it would still taste the same, right? Because we just put our hands on the can, but the Sprite is still Sprite, right? But if I put my finger in the soda, and he put his finger in the soda, and then you put your finger in the soda, and would you drink it?
No.
No, right? The metaphor here is women. Women getting fucked by multiple men is disgusting. Men having sex with multiple women is amazing because it's hard for a woman to have. I mean, it's hard for a man to have sex with multiple women. It is extremely easy for a woman to have sex with multiple men. In fact, if you wanted to have a guy come to she lives in a mansion. If you wanted a guy to come over to your mansion right now, right? Could you command that to have sex with you?
I wouldn't want to.
But you don't want to. Why? Why don't you want to?
Because they need to be vetted more than just...
They need to be vetted. Okay, so you got standards.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what? Men have no fucking standards. We got no standards. We don't give a fuck.
That's the problem. Hence my point.
Men will date down. Women only date up.
Well, not only. There are plenty of women that date down. Plenty of women.
Yeah, where's that guy? Where is that guy?
Plenty of women that date down.
Give us an example.
Oh, God. I mean, any reality TV show.
Or the relationships don't last because it's unrealistic, right?
Yeah.
So, like, again, our whole goal here is to get men to be able to be a little bit more aware of their sexuality because when you're not aware of your sexuality, I believe
that men should have standards for who they hook up with.
Which is why we don't like whores or OF girls and why we judge them.
So, but when you speak about having, intimate relationships with different women, you don't know what you're walking into, and then you're getting yourself set up for hurting other people. Not like emotionally, but it could be, carrying something that you don't even know about. All that's do it. That's a lot of responsibility that you're just carrying around that you don't even know. That's what I mean by disgusting. It's not the actual act that, like, if you want to gallivant everywhere, but you also need to be responsible with that piece of meat that you have that you're taking to any corner of the street.
Isn't that how men see the world?
What if he's wearing a
condom?
If he could have sex with 5 girls tonight, or if you could have sex with 5 dudes tonight, one would not think, the other would think a lot.
I'm just saying, with promiscuity between either sex, it still should be demonized in the sense of, like, it shouldn't be congratulated for one and not for the other, when at the same time, like, to not have standards proves the exact point that it's not a good thing. For either sex.
That's not true in principle, though.
Your girl actually wants you to have women. Like, she actually wants you. And, like, there are honest women out there who will be straight up. If you're fucking with them, they'll want you to have other bitches. Like, and they will tell you this. So, like, if a girl knows you have no bitches, no other girl wants you, that actually makes you less attractive. They want to live in a fairy tale to where they want girls to want you, but they just don't want you to fuck them.
But they don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, fellas, like your girl that you always say, babe, I will never leave you. I'm not going anywhere. That's actually making you unattractive. She needs to have don't make her she can't be too comfortable. So she needs to know that you have the capability of getting other girls, because that gives her that reassurance that you are the fucking
The game
guy.
never ends. Yeah. We already spoke about this. The game never ends. But it also has to do
with... What does that mean?
level.
You said that like twice now.
That you have to continue to want to flirt with your partner. Like you have to, it's not like just because you seal the deal, whether you're married or you're in a committed relationship, whatever it is, doesn't mean that, oh, well, that's it. We're here. No, it's a constant reminder of why you guys constantly choose each other. And if you want a partner that has standards or a qualified woman that you see to build your life with, there's no way that, I mean, at least in my case, there's no way that I'd pick someone that is using their piece of meat like it's for everyone.
But it is for everyone. And I'm going to explain why.
They need reassurance from like outside factors. So other women wanting you being attracted to other women, that gives them reassurance that you are that guy, because they're not able to think as much on their own as guys. Because before, if you take it back in time, if a woman had her own opinion and it was the wrong opinion and someone got mad, she'd get killed off and she'd vanish. So they're used to just going against going with the crowd as far as their opinion. And I bring that up because other girls wanting you is giving her that reassurance, because she's not as capable as a man of thinking on her own. And that just goes back to the beginning of time. Men are more capable of defending their word because they're stronger than women. That's just the reality of it. So your girl actually wants other girls to want you. She just doesn't want you to fuck them.
Yeah. Now, this is why that's true, right? Women do share men, and women do choose to procreate with the top men. And since the dawn of time, women procreate with the most selected men, and the most selected men are the ones that procreate. So when it comes down to these standards, you're saying that the man should only, in the way that you're framing this, do you think the man should have a body count of like 0 or 1? Like, do you think the man should be a virgin when he meets you? Like, that's a very masculine standard to have, right? Are you saying that he should have such a standard and your version of a standard, even though I'm telling you male sexuality is naturally at birth wanting to have sex with every girl that he can find? You're saying no, he should not have that standard. He should not be born this way. He should be born the way that I want him to be. And the way that I want him to be is to be with one person?
No. I'm talking about the evolution of a guy's like idea of what it means to be in like with one person.
Walk us through it.
So I'm sure every man can relate to at one point in their life, they're in college or in high school, whatever that time frame is that, you know, you're like really like in your prime, like I know what I'm doing, right? There's a moment in every man's life. I've seen it in high school. I've seen it in plenty of avenues where men are like the player of the town,
I have
right?
to cut you off because that's not a lot of men's reality. That's probably only like 20% of men who ever existed. So you said like every man like that's like a small percentage of men who.
It's the men that she looks at.
No, I'm not that I look at. No, absolutely not.
The dude who checked out your groceries at Publix, like that dude, 9 times out of 10, he has never had that college experience. That he's never had. So most
male virginity is out there, but we know a 28-year-old virgin male, and that's on the rise.
Well, I think there's something. I think that there's still something. Okay, you guys have ever seen what's that movie? Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh yeah. I did. Let me look it up real quick.
It's
I have
with
seen it.
Ryan Gosling and the guy from The Office. What's his name? I can't.
Michael. He's like Michael Scott.
Yes.
In The Office, but in real life, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name for the life of me right now.
Don't worry, I'll pull it up. Don't worry.
He's so funny. But anyways, he's with his wife, right? And it's a really good example. It is an extremely good example.
Rom-coms, I'm just going to say, always good for women, horrible for men. Every rom-com.
That one is actually really good for men. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's really,
Steve
really,
Carell.
really good. Thank you. Yes. It's so good for both, like, relationship. It's amazing. It's so good. And he goes on this journey where he's with his wife for 100, feels like 100 years. His wife cheats on him, so then he becomes a player, and it's like this whole thing. It's a really good storyline. My point being that he then realizes throughout the experience of having availability to all these women is that the one that he cares about the most is the first woman that he was with, is his wife. That's like the quality of the relationship that they held was more important than all these other women. So eventually you get to the point of
one-itis.
Eventually you get to the point of figuring out that the quality that you share with one person outweighs all of the other one-night stands that you think that you have this great chemistry feeling with, right? And that takes maturity to get to. It's not like every man is going to feel that way, but if you can find the maturity and find the level of commitment and wanting to figure out your partner, right? Mm-hmm. This isn't something that you just like close your eyes and go into the room with and say, well, I did my job, so she must enjoy that, right? No, it's finding intimacy with the other person is part of the process. You can be intimate with one person. You can still like find new ways to do that with the same person. It doesn't need to be with another woman to find depth or like ego in having sex with multiple. It can just be with one person.
So let me go off on that.
Women is like extremely dangerous, man. Do not ever take advice from women. Ever. Anything a woman says, do the exact opposite. Like every fucking time. Don't ever take, because they're so caught up in their existence that it is so hard for them to get out of their own shoes. And they conflate what they want to what men want, and just don't listen to women. Because that movie is really bad. That movie is a really bad example for men. That's propaganda for men. So
I'm gonna explain.
For men, if you listen to that, like that, don't like that's like men need to know this.
So in this example that you gave, you're saying that a man, he can find a reason to have a very good quality, in-depth, in-love, beautiful bond with a woman, right?
With one woman, yes.
With one woman.
Yes.
Now, between the two genders,
mm-hmm.
after a man has sex with the woman, between the two genders, after the sex has been had, whose job is it to keep the other person?
It should be between the two of them.
Should be, but whose job is it? There's one. The answer is one of them. It's
why?
Okay. Well, if we look at it to answer the why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Male sexuality, the man wants to have sex with the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it like this. If this was a prostitute and you paid as a man, you're the man here, you're a man,
okay.
right? You paid this prostitute $5,000 to have sex with her
mm-hmm.
on Thursday. Next week goes by. Now you want to have sex with her again. But guess what? You already had sex with her. So the price goes down because you already did it. But if you want a new prostitute, you have to pay a new $5,000.
Okay.
Why is the price going down?
Because the value of the idea of something that you haven't had has already been had.
The price goes down because you had it already.
Yeah.
So it's less valuable now.
There's no suspense with it. You know what you're getting.
Exactly. So with this example, between the two genders, after the sex has been had, whose job is it to retain the other?
I mean...
I know you don't want to say it, but I'll say it for you.
No, it's not. But it's not.
It's the woman's job to keep the man.
But
it's the woman's job to keep the man every single time. And how does she do that? She has to not be an ain't shit woman. She has to make sandwiches for him, add value to him, put like time and effort and energy into making his life better.
So then the man can do what then? So then he doesn't need to apply himself either? Or is that just like a one-sided thing that then he doesn't need to pursue her anymore?
If this man, in this example, is a dateable man, tall, strong, handsome, set up the house, ready to go. Now he's decided, I'm going to lay some seed. So he's out here having sex with women. Just like I was saying earlier. Yes, he can absolutely bond with one if he wanted to. But I don't know why he would. But if he wanted to, he could. But how does that happen? Does he have to go over pursue the chick? Does he have to go bring her flowers until the point of her falling in love with him? Or does that woman, because he is now a high-value man having sex with all these other women, does she have to put time and effort and energy into investing into him so then he can understand what the bond is? You see what I'm saying?
I see your perspective, but I don't agree with it.
Of course, because why? It's conflicting to the other sex.
No, it's not conflicting so much as it is very one-sided. It's not conflicting.
Do women compete for men?
Do women?
Do you compete with women for men? See, that's how I know that if you don't compete with other women for men, and this is gonna be a hard truth to swallow, right?
Uh-huh.
Why are you wearing makeup?
Because I know what my best
Which is, it's a
assets are.
great look,
No,
by the
because
way. I'm just saying.
I wear makeup because I like to enhance my best features.
Right. So you're doing it for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is bullshit. This is a political brainwashing propaganda.
No, it's not. I grew up as a performer my whole life. I know how to be camera ready.
So why do you wear the makeup then as a performer? For who?
For myself. What?
You wear it for the show, the audience, for the people to consume your beauty. When women wear makeup, who do they want to be attracted to them?
Who do I want to be attracted to?
When you put on makeup, which gender do you want attracted to you?
I don't see it as that perspective. There are different. I can understand where it can be assumed. I can understand where you can assume that it is that deeper of a level, but it's not that deep. And of course you want to put things in a box that this is the way that it is. But I'm letting you know now, as someone that grew up performing and being around women more so than men in my dance career my whole life, it had nothing to do with showing off to men how good of a dancer I was or what makeup I wore. It was to be able to be seen from a far distance with my expressions on my face to who's in the farthest of the room.
And that is true for performing, because that is how performance is done, because you want to see, this is all adding up to the same point. You want the people in the distant audience to see your facial expressions because you're wearing makeup. Now, you're not performing at this moment. You're out here in the competitive world of dating. And women will say something along the lines of, I'm wearing the makeup for myself, to which I say, well, if you're wearing it for yourself, you don't wear it when you go to bed, you don't wear it when you're alone in your house, you only wear it when you have to come out and see other people. And then when I do this shit, I literally will walk over, grab that Lysol over there and hand it to you and be like, if you're doing it for yourself, wipe it off. And they never do it.
If I'm doing it for myself, then wipe it off? The
makeup. But the problem is that women won't admit that they're competing with other women for men. They'll never admit it, but that is the truth.
I'm not competing for anyone.
Then don't wear makeup.
The best version of myself. That's the only competition that I'm in.
So then if you do like a guy, are you not then competing for that guy with other women?
No.
Never.
No,
not once.
They're not for me if I have to compete with other women.
You're definitely you are definitely competing. So we're.
But I'm letting you know that if I am competing, then that's not the man for me.
Let's start it from here. We're all here to procreate. As a man, you don't work your job for yourself. You don't work your job because it makes you feel good. You work your job for your family that you're hoping to raise one day. As a woman, you wear makeup, you look your best because you're competing to get the best man rather than another woman. Because back in the day, if you were saying this stuff like, I don't compete, I don't give a fuck, I'm just going to dress looking lazy, looking ugly as fuck, or not even ugly, no makeup on, not looking my best, you would not find a man. You'd be out in the world on your own, alone, and then you die off by an animal or another tribe will come grape you because you just didn't care. So it really is that deep, because this is all about procreating. So I know for me to find the best woman possible, I got to become the best version of myself. So I'm not out here doing all this shit, working all these hours, doing all this shit for me. I'm doing this for my future family. And as a woman, if you are smart, if you accept the fact that it doesn't make you less of a woman to say, yes, I'm competing for the best man. Yes, I want the best man I could possibly get, so I look my best at all times. I behave as a lady at all times because I want the best I can get. That doesn't make you any less of a person. That makes you a fucking human who wants to say
competing, I think, is the wrong word.
But I can explain to you why it is competing. I'll explain right now.
This is really deep because we all are behaving our best to procreate, and it's not in the back of your head. I'm not people aren't girls aren't putting on makeup like, I'm putting this makeup on so I can go find I'm putting this makeup on so I can go find the best man so he can have my kid. Some women are, if you're smart, that's what you would think, but most women are just doing this, going day to day, not fucking thinking about it. So when we say this shit, they're like, no, but deep down, your biology, you are made to behave this way so you can find the best mate to protect you and your fucking children. Because if you look lazy, dress like a fucking hoe, or not look your best, you're not gonna get the best man possible, because those guys aren't gonna wife you because they're looking for the best lady, and you aren't that lady, and you don't care.
And then when we have a woman sitting next to another woman, and I say, I want you to tell her most ugly features, the women freeze up and they won't do it because they know that they rely heavily on their beauty. Then if you go deeper into the modeling world,
why would you want to be mean to a stranger?
It's not being mean to a stranger. It's that women rely on their beauty. So then if you meet people in the modeling world, you'll see that some of them have relied so heavily on their beauty that they can do photos and they can do pictures and they can do poses, but as soon as a camera's in front of them and they have to like use their personality, they're voidant of that because they don't have a personality because they rely so heavily on their beauty. But this all comes back to the fact that,
and that's fine. You don't need a person. To me, a bitch doesn't need a personality. Be like, I don't give a fuck. Like, and that's actually smart because like guys love what they see, girls love what they hear. That's why fucking girls wear makeup and guys lie. So it's like if you're a girl and you're beautiful as fuck and you don't really need a brain. It goes back to like you don't need a fucking brain to make it in life as a woman. You need one as a man to make it. So it just all comes back to biology, really. When you really break this shit down and get to the nitty gritty, we're just fighting biology in today's world. We're just fighting it, and it just doesn't make any fucking sense. We're making life harder than it has to be on ourselves when it doesn't have to be this hard.
right? So if you do or do not concede that point, that's fine. But we're saying that in a sexual marketplace, right, which is the dating world, there is high sexual market value and there's low sexual market value. There's those that are highly dateable and those that are very low in the dating market, right? So when you factor that in and you do count why women are wearing makeup or why they're wearing dresses or why they're looking pretty, beauty does matter, and they're never doing it for anything other than male consumption.
I think there are a lot of women that will say they do it for, if you want to talk about competition, it has to do with each other, not the males. Like you don't care if I wear blue mascara or red mascara or whatever mascara it is. Like it's not something that influences you, but you know, when you walk into a girl's bathroom, there's always a conversation of like, oh my God, I love your whatever it is. It's more of a conversation between women than it is about getting the approval of a man.
It really is, because that could be making the difference of a guy approaching you. Now, if you're at the store and you didn't decide to wear that fucking eyeliner or put all those lashes, you don't know. He might have not approached you, and that guy he has a nice amount of money in his bank account. He's too well groomed. He takes care of his shit. And by you not putting on that eyeliner and looking a certain way, he maybe not would have approached you at the store. So it really, guys notice. They might not just say, oh, she had on that fucking eyeliner, but who knows, without it, they may not even.
Well, like, who are the consumers of female beauty?
Women.
Men. Men are the consumers of female beauty. If there was no men.
Consumers, like buying the product?
Like buying the product, So who are the consumers of female beauty? Who takes in female beauty? Men. Men take it in, right? Let me explain this, right? When there's gyms and there's men, there are gyms where just men go to, but there are no gyms where just girls go to. In fact, when you have that scenario, girls don't go to gyms when they know other girls are going to be there. They go to gyms, and as of late, we've had viral clips happening where girls are setting up their phone and they're seeing guys like staring at them, and then they'll make this a viral moment as if to say, oh, this guy's such a creep. To which we say, okay, great. If that guy was such a creep, why don't you go and have your only female gym? And then when you start researching that, you'll see that that always fails because women don't want the fucking attention of other women because they don't care. They want the attention of men. So because they heavily rely on male attention and they're addicted to attention, and attention is like cocaine for women, aka Instagram, they are putting out this projection of beauty for men to consume. They're never doing it for other women to consume.
I completely disagree.
Well, we've had a good ass conversation. Like it's fucking going on 11 o'clock. If you guys want to.
Well, there's a couple more points I wanted to tie this in. So I wanted to say, like, let me ask you this, right? On the topic of male sexuality, pulling it all back, right? If men's sexuality is at the underdog state, why do you think women in general just don't want to see men happy? Like, for example, if the guy wants to have sex with a bunch of different chicks.
I think both male and women and men should want to see each other happy. Period. Doesn't need to be one versus the other.
Male happiness would be like he's got 5 girls out in the open.
That's your opinion of it. I don't think that every man.
Would you know any guys that'd be upset if they were having sex with a bunch of girls out in the open?
Guys that are programmed by the propaganda, they're gonna say they're okay with one girl. That's because they're.
Why is that the program versus the opposite being the program?
I'm literally telling you what male sexuality is.
Because those same guys are watching fucking porn at night and they have a girl because that's just not enough for them. So they're going against their biological makeup. They're not being true to themselves, which makes them actually.
Why don't you hold men more accountable to like figure out why they're doing that versus just allowing that to be the norm?
The men are masturbating to pornography when they have a woman because they need more sex with more women, so they find a digital outsource.
And you think that's okay?
the masturbation, no. I think that it's beyond okay and extremely beautiful for a man to have multiple women, and I think that's important, and I think society would be better off if men could do that out in the open. But it's not happening, and to be fair, not even monogamy is happening the way that it used to. It's at an all-time decline, right? In fact, there's a statistic that shows when it comes to DV, if you don't know what DV is, domestic violence, the highest of that is between lesbian couples, right? The highest in all of it, it's women on women, because women don't have stoicism. Women can't retain their emotions. The highest stats on DV is women and women. Then when it comes to DV with men and women, it's always that the woman is the initiator of that first, and it's far and few between and very rare for the man to be the aggressor. But then when it comes to marriage statistics, the highest retaining marriage statistics right now are between gay couples. So they're breaking it down and they're saying between women and women don't want to be with each other. Between men and women, they like each other, but there's still a woman involved, so there's a problem there. And then between the two men, they're just staying together, no problem. So then that leaves us with this scenario is like, okay, why is it that women feel that they have more options than ever? Why is women's ego higher than ever? Why are women choosing career over man, choosing career over family, choosing money and career-based security instead of shutting the fuck up, finding a man, submitting to that man, and pursuing having a relationship with that man till her death?
You're literally saying that they want to be having sex with multiple women at the same time. What woman wants to be one of those women?
Well, if she was able to outcompete other women,
if you're saying that, then where is the standard that the woman needs to then procreate with someone who doesn't give a crap about her and doesn't see her as a standard?
Well, she can. She absolutely can if she lowers her standards. There's a bunch of guys who right now will absolutely love to be in a monogamous relationship with a girl. That dude at fucking Walmart would love some monogamy. The dude at Starbucks would love some monogamy. All these dudes doing construction would love some motherfucking monogamy. But I mean, girls are attracted to dudes with a lot of money. And if he has a lot of money, he has a lot of options. If he has a lot of options, why is he gonna choose this girl if he could choose many?
And it's like, would you rather have a broke dude to yourself or a rich dude who has other women with you as well? Like, would you be with that 10K a year Starbucks guy or a guy who's making $1 million a year but he has a few other women? What would you prefer?
I believe quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. I'm saying it's still one
quality
guy.
I'm saying quantity, boy. That's what men want. Quantity. Women, and that's true. Women want quality. They want a secure relationship, and that's great.
How is that quality? A guy who makes 10K, he can't take care of your family. You have to work overtime. How is that quality? With the guy who makes a lot of money, even if he gets you pregnant, you can still stay at home with the kids, and everything's good.
Would you rather have a rich guy that cheats on you or a broke guy that loves you?
What if he can afford to have 4 women?
But why are there only 2 options?
It's a psychological question.
I
mean, okay, but let me ask you this. So then let's go with what she's saying, right? You want a guy who's philanthropic, successful, family-oriented, has standards, has values, and loves dogs. Mm-hmm. But she didn't say that she also wants this man to be taller than her, smarter than her, attractive, handsome, revered by other men, charming, attractive, an overall stand-up guy in society. She wants this guy to be the main catch. But if this guy is out in the dating world, why would he choose a woman who has been fucked by other guys, who has standards of career over him, who has the mentality of, I do this beauty for me, I don't do my beauty for you, which is very aggressive, right? I mean, girls, when you take girls out on dates, they're more than happy to get dressed up for you, but the mentality is anti-man, anti-man, anti-man all across the way. So if he builds himself up to be the ultimate, most dateable, attractive man that he can be to women, what kind of woman do you think he's selecting for? And why would he be selecting for just one if he can have money, and many, in much the same sense that when Superman discovered that he could fly,
harder to be. It's a lot harder. It's a lot. It takes a lot more effort to be with one woman. And
no, it doesn't. The fuck, that's easier. Have you ever dated multiple women at one time? That is harder. One chick is easier.
So then, wouldn't you want to make your life more simple so you could devote your time to other things that can prosper the both of you?
Which gives her a high competitive advantage if she wants to compete for that man.
High competitive.
Because if she sees the end game with him, like, I guarantee you, like, I don't want to use your specific scenario, so let's lose like an adjacent scenario of grandparents. I guarantee you, bro, if we talk to those grandparents, the men, They had sex with other chicks during the relationship. They don't tell you about it.
Yeah, and I'm having these thoughts in my head while we're talking. It's making me realize like women's innate like selfish behavior, in a sense, it actually like hurts them really bad in their family. Because if my daughter's telling me she wants to be with a 10K a year guy because he's loyal over a guy who makes $1 million, $2 million, but he has a few girlfriends, I'm gonna be like, are you fucking crazy? This isn't about you. This is about your fucking kids. So if you take it back in time, I like to bring shit back in time, like when we first started our procreating in our existence, because that's the only way it makes sense to me. So if you decided to be with a fucking loser, a fucking scrub who couldn't defend himself, who couldn't go make money, you would fucking die off and you'd be done, or you'd
but
be
you
great
could
by
take a
another
step
child.
back and
So
take that 10 grand. You can take a step back.
If your girl needs to take your money and flip it for you, or try to fucking make some shit happen for you, you already fucking lost, bro.
No, that's not what I was talking. I'm talking about when you refer to when you're in a successful relationship, the woman's job, if you will, is to expand,
multiply,
and not only just multiply your money too, right? Like give you stability in that, so you can grow. And if she doesn't motivate you to make more money and to be the best version of yourself, if that 10 grand a year, whatever it is, like that's well below the poverty line, so that's like a whole other issue. But if you don't have the drive to do happy, like what, that's not
my point is that for my daughter, like, no, go get with the guy who has his fucking shit together, because then you're placing a bet.
You consider
gambling
getting your shit together as multiple, like fucking other women on top of your daughter.
No, what I'm saying is like having your shit together financially, just fucking being know how to carry yourself and behave, be a respectable man. So now as a woman, if you're getting with the guy who doesn't have his shit together, you're placing a bet. So what I'm saying is, why place a fucking bet when you can get with the guy who's already established on his shit, and who cares if he fucking fucks with another girl or not? But it's like, it's a guarantee. You're guaranteed to get what you want out of that as far as growing your family. Because if you're getting with the guy who's barely kind of like just fumbling around figuring the shit out, it's like, now it's like, I don't know. And then on top of that, now for advice for the women now, if you're getting with the guy who doesn't have his shit together, now you're also, that time clock is ticking now.
Right.
Now you're 21. You're 21, and this guy, you're like hoping he gets ambitious. You're hoping he makes this business move he's been fucking talking about all these years. And now you're 25 and he still hasn't gone anywhere. Where you could have found a way better guy when you were 21 who had his fucking shit together. So not only did you just be selfish because you wanted him all to yourself, you wanted a broke guy all to yourself, but also you wasted all this fucking time when you could have just got with the guy who has it figured out. And then your family set, you're more secure that way. So it's better for your family.
So
it sounds contradicting to me.
What's contradicting?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, in the same scenario, if we went with your scenario, if you had one chick who was like motivating you to make money and stuff,
because the way that you asked me the same question is like, which one would you rather be with? But then you want someone with humility, of like who doesn't care.
Having sex with a lot of girls is a lot of humility.
No. Yeah, but when you ask me that question, it's putting a woman in a pigeonhole to go, well, yeah, I would degrade myself to be one of the 5
Where's
women.
the degrading part?
Very smart, actually.
Where's the degrading part?
Absolutely not.
The smart answer to the question is fucking being with the guy who has multiple women. So I'm giving you a scenario just to see where you stand on what you're willing to do. Because for your family, the better option for your kids that you want to have, the better option is being with the millionaire who has multiple women, rather than being with the broke guy who can't fucking take care of his family.
She finds male sexuality disgusting.
Right and wrong answer.
So
I don't.
That is
incorrect. That is incorrect. I don't see male sexuality as disgusting at all.
Okay.
That's very incorrect. It's very, very, very incorrect.
How do you see it?
I find male promiscuity disgusting.
That is male sexuality. It's
it
by
is
default
not.
promiscuous. Men do not want one woman when they're born. They don't want. In fact, if they did, why don't men just stick to one woman from birth?
What?
Like when he's born and he finds one partner,
Uh-huh.
why doesn't a male naturally stick to that one partner for life once he finds that woman?
Because he gets heartbroken. I don't know.
I'm telling you why. Because he doesn't want one fucking girl. That's why. So if we take your example and the girl's like motivating towards you and wants you to make more money, what if 2 girls are motivating towards you and want you to make more money? What if 3 girls are motivating towards you and want you to make more money? That only makes
like
him
a name for that. Like, isn't there
it's called, there is a name. It's called MAN. That's how it's spelled. Being a man.
No, there's like a polyamorous relationship or something.
That's bullshit. It's just male. just male sexuality.
Then
fuck
luck.
men, right? She's like,
No,
fuck
then
these
good-
men.
No, so then good luck finding a standard of a woman that will put up with that.
That's a great standard, and I'll explain why. See, I was going to ask you earlier, when do women want to see men happy? Because they know for sure as shit a package deal is going to make men happy. Now, we've done a lot to make women's sexuality, their promiscuous sexuality, accepted, monetizable. The girls get to with each other and say, damn girl, you a baddie, you a queen, slay, for all this stupid shit that makes them more and more like whores, more and more degenerate, more and more promiscuous, more and more disgusting, right? The lower that they debaucherize, or the more that the women over-sexualize themselves, and the more that women make themselves into sex objects amongst each other, women will encourage that over-sexualized behavior from like early ages on throughout life to bring women down to keep each other single, because women's nature is very mean towards other women when it comes to relationships, which is why when a woman is in a relationship and does have a wedding ring, all of her single friends will say a million things about why that man is not enough for her and why she could be better with her options somewhere else, and successfully brainwash her into divorce, which is why one reason or one component of why divorce is initiated by women and at an all-time high now.
And the quicker that you can put yourself out of your own shoes and make it bigger than just you, i.e. like a family, for men, this goes for men and women, the better you're going to be. The more for men, the more you're going to want to strive at your job, the more you're going to want to make money. Because if you just live for yourself, you're not going to want to grow at all. Like, you could just get by with the bare minimum. But when you start thinking about the bigger picture, that'll make you want to save money more, be more responsible. And as a girl, you'll maybe accept things that you wouldn't accept if you're just if you're alone and not wanting kids or anything. So the advice for a girl who doesn't want kids versus a girl who does want kids is completely different. If you're a girl who does not want kids, go be with the fucking broke guy. Who gives a fuck? Because it doesn't matter at that point. But if you're someone who wants kids, a stable family, then you're gonna have to start thinking out of your own shoes and not thinking about what you want, but what's best for your family. And the moment you do that, I believe both genders will be happy.
And if you want monogamy, just lower your standards to a monogamous guy. Now, like, do you, in your opinion, find women that want a monogamous man?
I'm sorry, I was just asking what male sexuality is.
I'm a man describing it to you.
No, I wanted to, because it says,
Let's go.
It says it encompasses a wide range of physical and emotional responses, desires, and behaviors related to sexual attraction and activity. It is a complex aspect of man's identity influenced by biological predispositions, personal experiences, upbringing, and cultural norms. While most men are heterosexual, attraction to the same sex, homosexual, and both sexes, bisexual, are also natural variations. That's literally...
What do you conclude from that watered down, whitewashed, vanilla response?
Is that it's a complex aspect of man's identity. It's not just... you can't say that every man is... Like,
you want to find out? Call your any guy on your phone and say, "Hey, why have we never got together? Why didn't anything ever happen between us?" And let's see if he wants to have sex with you. Any guy on your phone.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not that kind of woman.
But
I'm not.
Even though you're not that kind of woman, and we make this phone call, which is an example, an experiment, a control group to see what the man's response would be. Why are you hesitant to call the man and say, "Why didn't we ever?" Because he's going to say, "Oh, I would love to have sex with you," because every man wants to do this.
I'm not a woman to do that.
But his standards is a man to do that. And that's all men. I guarantee you, go through every last man in your phone book. How married men hit on women, men in relationships hit on women, men that are in relationships jack off to pornography because they need a variety.
So you think that there should be no accountability that married men do that?
If you want to be accountable, you should say to the girl, "You will be one of many. You will never be the only one. Are you down for this? In or out? Yes, you're in, or no, get the fuck out." That's the most accountable thing you can do. Just be upfront with the girl. Don't deceive the girl. That's my biggest thing. Don't use deception as a mating strategy. I think it makes you a weak man. And I want all the men in America to do two things. One, don't like any girl's Instagram photos. Two, fuck all of them. Get them all pregnant.
No words.
Well, that's going to take a long time to mobilize.
You'll get the clickbaits, but that is not good. recommendations to have a successful dating career in today's society with the way that American women have perceived dating. This is why it's hard. This is why it's difficult. That's not gonna. You're not
Open
gonna
up on
be
that. Why is it difficult?
That's not going to be successful to find a woman that wants to put up with that when it's not going to be sustainable. It might be short term, sure. You'll have a laundry list of a rotating list of women that you can circle out, but you're not creating value to the women that you're constantly ping-ponging with. That doesn't create value.
And what would?
Working through issues with one person and finding the value in consistency.
Do you agree with this concept that if a girl has had sex with a man before she enters a relationship with a new man, she cheated on that man before the relationship even started?
Are you talking about before? Are you talking about in the talking? Like, I don't. Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, but I might not be understanding completely.
All right, so let's talk about a man with standards, right?
Okay.
In male sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
A man's standard for a successful relationship, the perfect standard, is a guy choosing a girl who has 0 body counts, right? How many women in the sexual market field do you think in America meet the standard of being a virgin between the ages of 18 to 26?
I don't know that statistic.
As someone who dates women, I could tell you, finding a virgin is far and few between. They're not out there because girls like to get fucking really early, right? Are we on the same page? Do girls like to have sex?
Time out. I don't think that that's completely fair, because when you talk about wanting to be submissive to a man and being vulnerable with a man, there are a lot of men that do that to get women to in that vulnerable place that take advantage of that when they're virgins.
Yeah, of course.
So that's
because
accountability.
They're lying to the girl, and I tell you guys, don't lie to the fucking girl.
So when you talk about,
but women should be having their parents or men in their community choosing who they have sex with. But women are choosing who they have sex with, and women choose that guy that you just said, the guy who throws them away. Women choose to be thrown away by the guy that we're describing
that's
because
not choosing. They're becoming vulnerable, and that's how they're taught. That's
so
how they take
they're
from their
becoming
own
vulnerable
opinion.
to the man with how many women?
I don't know that. I don't
many
know.
women because he's throwing the virgin away.
It's all right. I just don't agree with that statement at all. I think you need to hold men to more accountability. If you are going to be, if two people are going to be virgins together and lose their virginity together, men should just be as accountable to know how sacred that is and want to stay in that relationship. And if they're not ready to be in a relationship, maybe find someone with more experience to then try that out with. I don't know. I don't think that it needs to rely on the vulnerable sense of a virgin woman to say that that's her fault.
This is his standard, right? You said a man with standards. Now, virginity, the way that you framed it, assumes 50-50. But it's not 50-50. There's no such thing as a male virgin. There's only men with unused dicks, or men that have never had sex before. Virginity applies to women and women alone. It is a sacred, beautiful thing for women to maintain their purity. There is no purity with men. Men just have sex or not. So if we're going off what you're saying, and we're trying to apply what you're saying, a man who has a standard cannot be a man who has a woman who's been shared by the neighborhood, right? Because if Frank and Bob and Sam and Fred all had sex with Jessica, and now you're going to give your relationship attention to Jessica, Jessica's already cheated on you before the relationship started, so he had to lower his fucking standards to give the neighborhood girl, the neighborhood hoe, a relationship. So why should he give his relationship attention to Jessica? Because Jessica, that archetype, fits the mold for the modern day woman.
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I don't that's not for me to decide.
Well, from a man's perspective, he already feels. If feelings matter, right? He feels like he's taking his standards down a peg, just to have a relationship, love, sex, any of those beautiful things. He has to go down automatically because she gave it away to Fred and Sam and all these other guys. But in his mind, because she's already lowered her value, the only thing that's really going to offset that is either she goes and unfucks these men with a time machine, or he gets more women in the mix There is no other way for him to perceive what he's getting. Then, if he does give all of his relationship attention to Jessica, and he stays monogamous to Jessica, if that truly worked, and because men are hardwired to biologically be so loving and so responsive and so traditional towards women, whereas women decided that they don't want to be traditional anymore at all. In fact, instead of staying home, being loyal to one man, and having a man take care of them until death do us part, they're choosing, no, I'm going to have sex whenever I want. I'm going to dress however I want. I'm going to travel and be promiscuous and anonymous however I want. I'm going to make as much money as I want. And I'm going to die with what I want so I can be secure with material wealth for as much as I want. So she's only thinking about me, whereas the man is always thinking about we. At what point is the man...
As in that woman and 5 other women.
5, 10, 15, 30, 100, 1,000. It never ends.
I just can't relate to that mentality. It just doesn't exist in my ecosystem. That's a complete.
Well, I think most women could, because most women are not loyal to one man. Most women have a body count of over 10, over 15, over 20. Some of the girls that I talk to have no problem going off on their sexual promiscuity. They'll just tell you what it is, right? But the thing between the two genders is that women are women are way more sexually promiscuous than men. Male virginity is at all-time high. Women are running laps around men because men are coming basically to a war with a fucking butter knife, while girls are out here bazookaing all these dudes, because we live in an economy where women are able to leverage their sex and have a sugar daddy culture, leverage their sex and get men to pay their bills, leverage their options and put men in different categories. Oh, you know what? That guy, I'll use him for Uber. That guy, I'll use him for food. That guy, I'll use him for, he's good with his hands, he can come over here and do handiwork. Women will compartmentalize men in different in areas. Bad boys, Prince Charmings, friend zone. They'll put categories on these men, but these men aren't getting the sex that they want. So, how can they get that?
Change their approach. Maybe not go after the woman that is baiting them. Having accountability for who they want to be in association with. That's their decision to decide on what they do with their time and their energy. Maybe doing their handiwork is the closest thing they'll get to being around that woman, and that woman is using him, obviously. So that's on both parties to decide how that relationship goes, and the boundaries of each person to decide what they're getting out of it. I mean, for a woman to ask that, a man can just say no, and vice versa. So it really is just depending on the person and what their values are to say, hey, I don't want to be used to put up your TV without intercourse. And that's for someone to decide.
So now that's good, because we want men who don't really know how to date. They're not as strong as women in dating. They're not as skilled or experienced with women. They don't know how to say no. Mm-hmm. They only usually, what will happen is the girl will become like a black hole, and they'll put all their time and effort and energy into that black hole of a woman who keeps using and extracting resources out of him. Mm-hmm. Because he's kind of hoping for sex. Literally. Okay. That's the way in which...
Yeah, to invest time into getting a result from it. Understood.
Yeah, that's the way in which male sexuality is kind of in what it's been reduced to. On a whole other note, though, I think we have fucking been killing it on this episode. I want to go through and wrap it up with you guys and talk about some of these surmising points and bring it around for you, because
I was going to say this though, the answer to this whole shit is just feminism. You've been there's propaganda, the proper feminism propaganda. Men,
fuck feminism, boy.
You've been lied to, women. You've been lied to. You got to find a way to deprogram your brain.
Yes.
Shit that you believe you are in the matrix. Deprogram the shit. You have to just dish out, just get rid of all the shit that society's told you. Find a fucking good male role model that you want to be, and just implement that person.
Who's your role model as a man?
I have a few.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but find people that you want to fucking implement and be. And
no, I'm just asking. I want to know, in your opinion, who's a stand-up guy for you? I think that's important.
Well, I'll answer this by saying that me and Tez, as individuals, we're kind of outliers that are going out of our way to set the example to other men that we have in our brotherhood to be that man that is the role model. But who are role models that I've had in life? I could tell you 50 Cent. When I was younger, he was a really good guy. I got a chance to meet him. Some of the guys that I've met in these podcast spaces. And then obviously, like I said, Jesus, a big one. And I have entire conversations about how there's men with multiple women all up and down the Bible, and that's like a normal standard. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Women hate that topic, but I bring it up and just kind of like see where sexuality is at, because like we're saying, we're living in a time where like ideology is the biggest, and maybe chemical. I think that is stuff that's like chemically stopping men and women from procreating, but usually it's ideology. And when I put out these videos and I chop them up on TikTok or some different social medias, we'll literally remove like casual things that I'm saying and say like hateful ideology or violent ideology. I'm like, bro. Yeah, I could say all this about I love women one moment, but then I say like, okay, look, if you don't like shut up and make me a sandwich, then it's like, yo, he has a standard, how dare he? And it shows you that when it takes down the video, that like TikTok or Meta or whatever company's taking it down doesn't want you to say that. And that's why we say propaganda, which is why we say feminism, because at a corporate level, they do not want this to be happening. That's why we have to put this stream on different platforms, because if it does get taken down, some other platforms will still hold it. And our ultimate goal in having male role models is to create standards for men to be better men. And in part of being a better man, I don't give a fuck how you have a family. I don't care how you have a woman. I don't care how you have women. Just get it done. Get yourself together to the point where you have women coming to you, because you meet the standards that keep women attracted and interested. And once you're in there, this show is also used for people that are like in relationships, and like we want to talk about the interpersonal dynamics that it takes to keep them in the relationship. So if they can give structure to people that just aren't in relationships or forever perpetually single, or like if we meet the girls that just some of the girls that we know get tossed around by bad boys forever, and they'll never change their standards. And then some of the guys we know are addicted to pornography, and they'll masturbate themselves to death. And we're in a really bad time for the average person.
Mm. I think one thing about that whole shut up and make a sandwich statement, the whole thing there, it's like you also have to remember too, in the 1950s, yes, women would stay home and be the caretakers and stuff, but there was also like men being chivalrous, right? Like opening car doors.
Let's go.
And pulling out dining room chairs for their women, putting down like, if there was a puddle, to take out the umbrella. There are other aspects to not just a woman being a woman, but a man taking on the responsibility of making her life easier in the male-female versus, I learned that too in the salsa and bachata world too. Shout out to From the Top Dance Studio, Fort Lauderdale, owner here. Learning that, even asking this gesture of, can I have this dance? It's like so romantic for absolutely no other reason than just asking for my consent, of not being at a normal bar or club and you coming up behind me feeling your breath behind me, like I'm not consenting this at all. Please step back. Like you don't even know what my face looks like, and you're coming up behind me like we know each other. That's not appropriate in this nature. Now I'm vulnerable and I don't even know what you look like. Okay, so there are levels to when you speak about the cultural divide of 1950s men and women to now. Like men used to do more of writing long love notes and confessing their love to a woman in order to get them. So it's not just the women that have changed. Men have changed a lot too.
Yeah, the biggest difference from then and now is strictly, I'm going to keep beating a dead horse because it is what it is. It's feminism.
100%.
Feminism killed men being gentlemen, and it killed women being ladies. So men don't open up doors and do all that shit anymore. And if you are a guy doing that shit, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get you're going to get the bad end of the stick if you're treating women like ladies these days, because a lot of them just don't respect it. So feminism killed women, or men acting like gentlemen and women acting like ladies. So now we just have this, what we would say toxic, which I don't like saying that shit, but that's just what it is, fucking relationship between men and women. So,
but there is sides to this. Like, for example, if I have a girl, she's been vetted to the nth degree, and she's getting that treatment, the chivalry, because she's gone through the procedures to get that from me, because I understand where my sexuality is, for her to come in and earn that from me. But if If you give a woman freely what she hasn't earned, she will not respect it. Now, my curiosity, and you bringing that up, is I'm very curious to know, how many of the men by default treat you traditionally, like chivalrously, and how many of the men by default treat you like fucking weird, like coming up behind you, breathing and all that?
I don't think that there's a number to it. I just believe that, you know, maybe in my early 20s, being at college bars and whatnot, there wasn't so much. There weren't as many, like, again, accountability to how men approach women, versus now it's like more like, hey, this is the way you should approach it, versus back when we were in college and whatnot, it wasn't so much spoken out about. It was just like men could just, or boys rather, could just like try anything. Like, let's see if it works, right? In the sense of like buying a girl a drink or like grabbing her hand to start dancing with her, doing all of those things that like as women were just like, oh, this is cute or whatever. But now it'd be like, excuse me, I didn't ask for that, right? So that just goes with like having information out on the internet that you can decide how you approach women. There are plenty of resources to be able to do that. But that all to be said, there are more strange encounters now, I feel like, because there's so many resources that, you know, depending on where you're getting your information from, maybe approaching a woman is to come up to their face and be like, you were the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. And that's weird, you know? That's a little invasive for me, at least. I don't like to be approached if I'm particular. I'm not the study. I'm not a good study subject.
Outlier, not the whole.
Yeah, I'm the outlier. But there are plenty of women that feel like goo goo gaga over a man like approaching her in public, right? They love that. Like, oh my God, like you're so pretty or whatever. Like a lot of women really would acknowledge and appreciate that type of in-person interaction, because it's really easy to get it online, right? We spoke about this earlier, of just having married men or whatever it is just approach you online, and you're just like, where are your standards, sir? You have a wife and kids at home. Like, this isn't what you should be looking at on the internet. You should be finding resources to become a better husband.
Yeah, and if he would watch a show like this, he would not lead a girl into believing that he's monogamous to that girl. He would say, hey, look, baby girl, I'm going to let you know I'm a man. I'm going to have you, and you. Or, if we're listening to what you're saying, guys, there's an uprise. There's more weirdos here than I've seen at Miami or up north. There are legitimate weird dudes here. And I was not expecting that, but I've seen these encounters that she's talking about. There's some fucking weirdos here. Mm-hmm. And our goal, again, is for men and women to be in relationships. We don't want these freeze your egg mentality. We want you to have kids immediately. I want you to be in, like, we're at a population decline. Japan is currently suffering from that. China literally has cities that are empty from their population decline. Russia's going through it right now. My message to every last one of you Americans is have kids, have families. Start like getting these women in. Start taking care of a girl that you want to give your relationship attention to, but vet her out and make sure that you become the man that you need to be. Become a 5-star gentleman. Be the man that you need to be to lead her, and find the woman that is worth leading and vet her the fuck out so you know who you're getting into bed with. You can't have a woman that's a black hole of a woman extracting your resources, and you can't be a man that can't meet any basic standard for a woman to be attracted to. You have it's a lot of leveling the fuck up between the genders. It's men having to build themselves into be something amazing. With women, it's just a fucking fantasy that they're in. That women, by default, when they're 18 years old, they come into the world, they're ready to have kids, they're ready to be wifed up, they're ready to be taken seriously. Their life is completely about preserving their purity, and they don't literally have to do damn near anything for a man to go find them beautiful, be attractive to them. But what we're dealing with is an attack on the mind for girls to think that they can do anything to not need a man, like careers, or condemn their sexuality, or just listen to their dumb girlfriends who will give them bad advice and pull them down and down and down, instead of doing what it takes to keep, retain, and stay with a man. And we need women's awareness to be higher on retaining a relationship.
I see a lot more women deciding to leave relationships than men deciding to not stay in relationships.
Yeah, no, women leave by far. That's what you heard of the term hypergamy before? Mm-mm. Google it real quick. Google hypergamy. It's spelled exactly how it sounds, like hyper Hypergamy.
I'm doing this with one hand on my phone.
You're good. Let's go. Yo, see, we're dropping real gems, real knowledge right here on female behavior. You guys are learning live on 5.
And that goes to the abundance mindset again. Is women have an abundance of options, so they're more likely to leave because guys stay. That's
of course,
it's
in there.
The act or practice of a person dating or marrying a spouse of higher social status than themselves.
Mm-hmm. And usually, what a woman will do is she'll date a dude who's at the same level as her or higher. And when she goes back, when she gets to the man that's at that high level, she'll find other men that are at a higher level and monkey branch from one guy to the next guy that's higher and higher in society. But they never go backwards. They can't. They just won't. Their standards won't go back to like the first bad boy that they had named Ted who worked at Starbucks or whatever, right? They won't do that.
I
but
feel
men,
bad for these men that work at Starbucks because you guys have brought this up.
Yo, man. Yo, shout out to them days at UCF, man. I used to work at fucking Starbucks. Your boy is doing really good in life now, man. If you're working at Starbucks, man, we're not talking down on you.
No, this whole podcast has been about you 10 grand. 10 grand.
Yeah.
Baristas.
Sorry for you guys, man. You gotta level up. You gotta level up.
We are been there, still fucking making it happen. Shit, fucking just keep going. That's all. That's what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
no matter what, you have to level up. You have to level up to
Part
take
of the
care of a
process.
woman. For again, what does it take to fully have this girl in order to submit to you? She has to know that you have the capability of doing that. You need to have the money, the resources, the time, and ability to do that. And if you do that, you should be getting a woman. But if you get a woman who's got a monkey branch and hypergamy off to another dude, we're saving you the time, effort, and energy to let you know, fuck that girl. Go get another one quickly.
And part of that's your fault because if you're not being the best that you can be, there's no reason for her to leave. So when you start fucking being soft and vulnerable and being a little bitch, then you're gonna give her a reason to leave you. She's constantly looking for a reason to leave you to make sure you're that guy. So the moment you get off your shit, she's gone out of
She
there.
testing your frame.
So, and that's part of her biological makeup, so she can fucking ensure her survival. She's always gonna be looking for the best fucking guy. So if you're not that guy at any given moment, she's fucking gone. There are guys she has options waiting in the back of her head. Every time you fuck up, she's thinking about the guys in her DM, that fucking page that she looks at every other week or whatnot. That guy is just, she knows he's ready. So stay on your fucking shit because your girl will be gone in a fucking minute if you're not. So.
It kind of goes back to what you were just saying. Isn't it true that you see an increase in women leaving relationships?
I just believe that there's a lot more accountability for women and what they want to do with their life versus men who don't have the same accountability from society to level up. The same way that you guys are speaking about in the sense of dead-end jobs or whatever it is, whatever they decide to do. It's just like the accountability of a woman being like the housekeeper and like the house person. It's all the things of a woman's standards. It's not as like clear cut as what a man should be in today's age.
But the way that you're framing this is the opposite of accountability. Accountability in relationships is for a woman to walk the fuck away from the career and walk into the lifestyle with the man. So let me put it like this.
No, to be both.
No, not both. One.
I'm
right?
talking about, and no, talking about from my personal experience of being a woman. Go to college, get a degree, get a good paying job, find a husband, be the wife, be the career maker, do everything that you can, and be a good wife, girlfriend, mother, daughter, and make sure that the house stays clean.
Yeah, no,
They're
some of
turning
that.
into
Some with
men,
the, I'm
and
with
then
some of
they're
that.
eliminating the men that they actually want, but at the same time by turning into them. So
I'm
the
not
guys that they
I'm-
actually want. I'm saying by you doing all that shit, that's turning a woman into a man. She's getting
The
more and more
first
masculine.
half of it.
And then the guy that she wants, he's not attracted to that shit. So she's
Yeah.
eliminating them. So now the guys who are actually attracted to the behavior that you've created for yourself, for you being masculine, going out there and chasing a career, the guys that actually want you, those are the dudes who act like bitches that you don't even want. So it's like they're disqualifying themselves. They think they believe that they're doing the best that they can to survive, but at the same time, as far as the intersexual dynamics and getting the best mate, they're disqualifying themselves from the best mate. So it's a fucked up situation, but that's where we're at with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you see it that way, but do you understand that like the reason that I'm saying that I want as soon as a girl turns 18 to not go to college, to not have a career, to go right into a marriage, go right into a relationship, go right into having kids, maybe around the time that she's 24, 25, 26, then say, husband, pay for my college, and then he pays for it, he takes care of that if she wants to do it, and then he gives her a position in the house to work for him, is a much better scenario than a woman go, and then she gets to be a mother, wife, daughter, and all those things, it's a much better scenario than a woman going into career at all, going to college at all, because if she goes down that path, she's going to start making more money, and when she starts making, let's say she's making $100K a year, right? Okay, so she's making $100K a year. She automatically needs a guy who makes that much or higher, and when you start getting into these numbers, you're getting into the 0.01 percentile of Americans. And most women don't realize when they start making that much money, which is much more easier for women to do than men, that they are limiting their pool of options to the point where the options that they have goes from reality, not many men that are making the money that they need in order for them to have their relationship, to fantasy land, where they start saying shit like, well, you don't know that. There could be anybody out there. There's an endless world of options for me, and there's not.
I just think this is all like really like hypothesis and to
data. I'll show you the data, girl.
Yeah, no, I think there's just a lot of hypotheses here, and at the end of the day, like at the end of it all, to say that all women feel this way and all men feel this way, I think we all just need to realize that we're all just trying our best. You know,
generalities, that's how the world works. So it's the majority.
Literally, we have here, I'll show you this later, but we have the female delusion calculator, where they take the U.S. Census Bureau and they literally measure the census on how much money is being made in the census, who has that money, who that demographic falls into, their height, weight, age, and what they do. And you can literally see that the men that have these options for you to date that are higher than this range are the 0.0001 percentile of men in America. And if you get into that percentile, it doesn't even tell you if the man is handsome, tall, rich, attractive, charming. Dude could be gay. It like the pool just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So the reason why I'm saying women stop, let me make it very simple. Money exists because women exist. If women didn't exist, there would be no money. Women need to stay the fuck at home and be taken care of by a man and be taken care of by a man's money. If women take care of themselves with their own money, they don't need a man. And when they don't need a man, society is going to fall the fuck apart. And America, as you know it, is going to only live for a few short decades before we're fucked.
Where are we now?
Well, how do you think the dating market is? And if we were to take command of our country, politics kind of sucks right now, right? On like every angle. But if Americans were strengthening their home, strengthening their dollar value, strengthening their name, but most of all strengthening their families, it doesn't matter what's going on politically because your family's so fucking strong it trumps all that. And that's like the end goal, is for you to use your own power as an American to strengthen and fortify your own families.
Decide where your dollar goes, you decide where your vote goes.
Vote with your dollar. We agree with that a lot. Yo, you are a fucking boss for staying with us this amount of time. I just gotta say, I wanna like commend you for showing a lot of patience and fortitude and respect for having a diabolical conversation that can emotionally go in a lot of directions. Most women don't have the fortitude to stay through a thorough topic like that.
Well, there were times where I wanted to just be like, both of you boys need therapy.
Yeah, sometimes people get angry, you know, people just get upset, people just get mad, but you listened and you had a really good conversation, and that's very commendable. Shout out to you, man. I can really appreciate
this
that.
This is the only way that we'll like actually create better results, is if we continue to not shut each other out, but hear each other out. Like, it's really what it comes down to. You can't live this life alone and expect to have different results if you want them. So that just goes to say, like, maybe you guys learned something, maybe you didn't. I surely took some great notes myself, and I'll continue on to my day tomorrow, you know?
100%. You get the video too. And yo, this isn't the first time you've seen Brittany, Tez, and Chris, but it's not the last time, man. We got some more episodes coming up. I was talking to her earlier about some episodes that you guys, if you stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, tweet, share it with 5 friends. If you're staying in the 5-star program, you're going to get some excellent sauce from different dynamics in the game. Because even though sometimes it's hard being in a relationship with a professional woman, we still got a professional woman on our hands here, and she's going to give you guys the sauce on how to level up in the motherfucking game if you're going to go down that road and live that life. But in all seriousness, no matter the outcome of any of this, I'm wishing the best for everybody here to have the ultimate outcome in their relationships, you know?
Thank you.
Relationship styles.
100%. Yeah, shout out to you, because she's a good sport. Like, I respect it. Like, shout out to her. She's good. So, hell It got a little hot, but yeah, she probably fucking do it. Shout out to her.
Yeah, if she didn't, she's not a woman. She's a robot, bro. I'm thankful. If we start seeing AI robots up in this bitch, I'm going to be very upset, man.
Fembots are next.
Oh, God, no. We'll do a whole episode about that. We have to warn the upcoming robot.
The next one.
Fuck, man. But
thank you, guys.
That being said, we're about to sign off. Brittany, go ahead, shout out your Instagram, let them know where to find you.
What's up? Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. You can find me on Instagram, Britt.Mitz, or my website, www.creativemits.com.
Hell yeah. Go find her. Go follow her. Go follow my dog, lifestyle coach, High Demand Tez, _Tez on IG. It's your boy, Life of Chris live stream. You know how we do a 5-star live stream. Shout out to the Dream Team live stream coming soon. Stay lit.